We're good.
And a 2, and a 3, and a 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And.
With 50 plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig, Slate, and Ed Bertaud discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between two friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh CrEd.
Well, Edward, look at us. What is this? What are we doing here, man? Is this Viva Fresh that we are attending?
I think it is.
I mean, we have been chatting about this for, seems like a lifetime. And now it's reality. Here we are, live and in person.
Live and in person.
So, and I don't know about you, but it's freaking amazing to me the number of people. I mean, Ed, do you remember being at the island?
2002, 2003.
What do we have? Maybe 20, 30 people? 120.
Should be fair. It was more than that.
It was 120 maybe?
I don't even know. Honestly, I can't think back that far. But we don't have the statistics yet. But later on, Dante Galeazzi, president and CEO of the Texas International Produce Association, which puts on Viva Fresh Expo, will have some preliminary stats for us, hopefully, as far as attendance. So just judging by feel, I would say, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that we will have the highest attendance ever.
Oh, that sounds like a risky bet.
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to argue with, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. I actually may have some inside intel on the whole deal too, so I may know a
really?
little bit about it. Yeah,
You've had
I'm just saying
private-
I might have some extra information that
some
not everybody
private
has.
one-on-one conversations.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you the challenge is going to be today is to actually talk for 6 hours straight to you.
It's not going to be hard for you to talk 6 hours straight. I can guarantee you that.
Well, no.
It'll be me that'll struggle.
Not
with the talk.
unless
it's me
you-
that struggles with it.
Not unless you don't ask me the right questions.
I will. You know what? Question asking. I'm a question asker.
Yeah.
Question number 1.
What?
Who are we going to be talking with today? Is it just going to be me and you up here yakking at each other?
No, we've got a long list of folks we're going to be talking to.
Did you bring the list?
I actually did. We're going to be talking to Ana Lopez from HEB.
Ana Lopez from HEB.
We're going to
Awesome.
be speaking to Wendy Reinhardt Kapsak from PBH.
Wendy Reinhardt, PBH.
We're going to be talking to Brett Johnson from Limoneira.
Brett Johnson from Limoneira.
We're going to be talking to Jose Landa from StePac.
Jose Landa.
Nate Stornetta from Produce Careers.
Oh, Nathan.
And then hopefully right around happy hour, we will have Dante join us with or without a drink.
He's joining us with a drink for sure.
I mean,
By that time,
it'll be my
we're gonna
first
need
one
it.
of the week, so I don't know if I want to break the cycle, but
So wait a second. You have not had a drink since we started this show?
0. No.
No ranch water.
Nope.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, maybe that you haven't had ranch water. I think you
haven't
might have had some wine.
You know what? I might have had a glass. You
yeah.
know, but
What is it? I'm trying to think of the Friday Night Lights quote. Is it clear eyes, something, something, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. That's what it is. You don't have to look it up.
no, I'm not looking it up.
Okay.
I'm still anxious over the YouTube and channel because it's important that we share with these people how to get us live on this thing.
Well, if they're listening, they figured it out.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say. Craig Slate is trying to find it,
Okay.
and he's not. So I'm looking for a little assistance. But
Well, give ourselves a little grace. It's first of a kind.
it is.
Yeah.
It's the first one. So, you know, do people give you, does anybody give
I
you
see
grace
somebody
these times? Oh,
half laughing
hey.
at us, half smiling. Jimmy
You know,
Garza.
I think we should be we should be charging for these photos. Don't
yeah,
you
hey,
think?
$10 a picture.
Yeah, Mason, can we
And
get like a bucket out
one more
front?
time.
Can we get like a bucket for people to put some money in?
We're gonna have a little. We're gonna have a little thing.
This is mine and Ed's. This is our new this is our bonus. This is how we raise bonus money as we do this. Yeah.
This is gonna be. This is gonna pay for braces.
A tip jar. We need a tip jar. That's what we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need. So, No, and look, we have standing in front of us, which nobody can see, at least on the pod, they can't see us. But we have two of the founding members of this wonderful event, right?
Mr. Jimmy Bassetti and Jimmy Garza.
I think the two Jimmies, the two Jimmies.
The old two Jimmy routine.
Now, wait a second. Let me ask you something. That young man there, raise your hand if you've ever stood in Florida, taken a shot of tequila, and said, "We learned some things, didn't we?" Yeah. So, this was that was. You remember that night?
I do.
Yeah.
Pivotal
Moment. Yeah. So we got confirmation of.
I think we got confirmation.
Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah.
We are off and rolling. So you guys, if you're listening live, pass it on to your friends.
Like, share,
Somebody send it to their
amplify.
mother. Anybody can send it to their mom. That'd be great. So they can send it to your mother so she can link in. So.
Yeah. It'll be
So
good.
we've got the so
We're just a couple minutes away from ribbon cutting time, so
Right.
we will be stepping away for a couple minutes.
yeah, we're going to step away, but I think we're going to get some footage of that as well. I think we're not going to leave everybody in a lurch. If I know our expert crew, which it's a sizable crew, let me tell you. Well, it's a one man with a lot of arms. Let's just put it that way.
An intelligent octopus.
An intelligent octopus has joined us here. You can't see him. Most of you that listen to the podcast know him as Mason.
Yeah.
And his lovely, I'm not going to say assistant. She's actually was the original starter, but she decided to have a baby. And now that she's had the baby Violet is important. So anyway, Laura and Mason are here with us. Most of you guys that listen to the show know them. They're going to be the most busy here, making us look good and sound good, which is what they usually do. You can see them do it behind the scenes. So,
Yep.
but ribbon cutting coming up. What time are we kicking that off? That's at one. We're about 2
1:15.
minutes.
It's
We're
a
about
couple
2
minutes.
minutes out from the ribbon cutting.
TJ Flowers, these pictures are $10 a piece.
Yeah. Hey, TJ, we haven't got the tip jar out yet, so come back, would you? All right.
Get
well
one of
then-
those Lone Star caps to
Hey,
put tips in.
What did you do with the "Don't Feed the Animal" signs?
Oh, yeah. What happened to Don't Feed the Animals?
Did we lose the signs?
No?
Yeah. I mean, it's not crucial to the show, Mason.
No,
but
it's not.
It's they're not
Don't
crucial
feed
to the show.
animals.
So many new faces, right, at the show. I mean, we've been doing this show. Is this our 8th year, right?
You mean the expo?
Expo. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
With one skippage.
yeah, due to COVID. Yeah, we had.
Yeah,
skip
we had
one.
the COVID skip,
Yeah,
and then
and then so if you don't count that, it's 8 years.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're just on the cusp. But anyway, I was saying about the new faces. It's amazing to me how many new faces, and the people that as long as I've been in this business, which is a lifetime, it's amazing how many people coming into the business.
Seems like it, a lifetime at least. I'm
Super
sure.
exciting though. I introduced you earlier to Blake, who's just came out of Texas A&M,
Mhm.
gig 'em, and joined a company here in Dallas and had dinner with another associate. He has a young guy out at A&M that
So
just
what's
got in.
their
young
so
people
looking
coming
at
into
it
the business.
through those eyes? What's the perception?
Well, maybe we should have had Blake come up and give us his perception at some point in time. Blake, I can see him. There he is there. Now you can hear me talking about him. But, I guess the impression that I got from him is it's kind of an overwhelming business in the early days as a young person.
Yeah.
Jacob seemed to be very passionate about it. And his 2 years in, 2+ years in, he's loving it. So it's similar to my experience when I first got in. It's a little hard to adjust to, but
Or even wrap your brain around.
wrap your brain around. Yeah, it's a business that, for the people listening that maybe aren't in this business, it's something that you can only experience. You can't really describe what it's like to be in produce.
I think what sums it up for me is, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but when I hear the phrase, "You got to pay your dues,"
Right.
at least from what I remember,
Yeah.
I know so far. I don't know if it could be any more true.
All right. I think we are now about to get to the ribbon cutting, so we're about to flip over and do ribbon cutting. So we will go, and
We'll be right
our
back.
production crew will let you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to our 7th mostly annual Viva Fresh Produce Expo. Thank you all so much for coming. When we open these doors in just a minute, you're going to see 200 booths, almost 400 retail food service buyer partners. You're going to see probably 2,400 attendees, but more importantly, you are going to see the highlights of the Tex-Mex region, which is $10 billion worth of fresh produce that moved through this very area. We want to say thank you to all of you for coming. So, this idea of Viva Fresh began as a passionate speech at a board meeting 9 years ago. So, 7 shows later, a pandemic, 3 cities, and thousands of friends who have joined us. We are so excited that you're here attending our 7th Expo. We want to say a few thank yous. First off, obviously, we want to say thank you to all of the attendees because this show wouldn't be what it is without you guys here. So thank you very much. I want to give the first big thank you to my staff, the staff of the Texas International Produce Association, Hector Garza, Lily Garcia, and Petey Garcia, as well as all the other staff that have helped make this possible. And then secondly, I want to give a big thank you to all the committees, all the volunteer leaders, all of the supporters, everybody who has contributed in one way, shape, form, or manner to make this possible. Of course, the steering committee, these are the guys that help put these ideas together and put them in play. Please, a round of applause for the Viva Fresh steering committee. Now, without further ado, we would like to declare the Viva Fresh Produce Expo is open for business. All right, let's get these doors open and get this thing going.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
What do we just have right now?
Are we out of the break? Because Mason, give me a thumbs up once we're running live again on the
I
YouTube.
gave you a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are now back live. You saw the ribbon cutting. We are wide open with a brand new Viva Fresh, and we have been joined by a guest, Ms. Ana Lopez, with HEB, which is super exciting to have her here. Have her talk a little bit about HEB and
A
the
diamond
relationship.
sponsor of Viva Fresh, by the way.
Thank you, HEB. Thank you, Anna and HEB for the diamond sponsorship.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate that.
For sure. So, Anna, I mean, would love to know why you guys, being HEB, right? Why you're such involvement in TIPA, Viva Fresh, the whole thing, a little bit of understand about that, and just kind of talk about what this organization, what it means to you guys. That'd be really important for us to understand that.
And being a retailer that is based out of only, does or services only the state of Texas, it's been very, very important to us. We are 330 stores strong. We cover the majority of the state. We're going into the Dallas market, as you've probably read, later in the fall. So we're extremely excited. Why the Viva show is so important? I think for a couple of reasons. One, we really heavily support Texas Grown. You've probably seen our new brand in stores in the last couple of years. We've got some commercials, some new marketing billboards, really leaning into locally grown or Texas Grown. We have several BDMs here this time. I know it's been a couple of years with COVID. We haven't had a lot of events.
It was a big crew.
Yeah, we've got a big crew here today supporting with our category, our BDMs or our category managers out here to meet new folks, right? Meet new growers, packers, shippers. So it's going to continue to be critical for HEB.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned something in there. If I'm not mistaken, have you not been in a commercial? Have I not seen you also in a
Yeah,
commercial?
I was super excited. I'm a girl from South Texas, and so we did that commercial in the Rio Grande, well, in FAR. We did it in English, we did it in Spanish, and so we're super excited. We'll get another commercial out at the end of the year with other farmers up in North Texas. So really, really excited. Again, Texas Roots is the brand that we're using, but we're really leveraging lots of marketing to support it.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So
Yeah, I caught that commercial.
Yeah, I laughed. It's such a great experience. If the production, it was about a 10-hour day for 29 and a half seconds of fame, but it was pretty fun.
10 hours.
Yeah, we were out at Viva Fresh, so Fred Schuster and his family were really gracious enough to let us spend some time in this field and bring our camera crew.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So we need to get Ed's pining for a commercial. You know, maybe we could get him on
We'll
it.
talk about that after.
Hey, buddy. I
Yep.
would
What's that? My coffee.
just put
Go
it
ahead.
here. I would do 30 hours of prep work for a commercial.
Would you?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
even straight
Just anything, especially if he
without eating.
if they could record it and he could keep watching himself, he'd be all over that for sure. So.
Okay, this from the guy who's looking for hair and makeup when we got here.
I'm still worried about my hair every time I have to put these
Those
headphones
things
on.
on.
Oh,
You
it's
look
dry.
Fantastic.
Well,
Glad
thank you very much.
Be glad you have hair, Craig.
I
At this point.
I am, but I just want to look good. Nothing wrong with that.
But hey, following up on one of the questions that you made, I mean, just from a show, obviously, you have some bias for a Texas group like Viva, right?
Sure, I do.
But as far as the kind of the boxes it checks off for you, obviously geography is probably pretty good. I mean, other than being directly in San Antonio, which we have been in the past, anything else you can think of as far as maybe focus, size, convenience?
There's
that
something
kind of
about Texas relationships, right? Just people that are local that have an investment in the community, whether you're buying from them or selling in it. I think that's a big one. Of course, logistics.
Yeah.
The sooner we can get it, the faster we can sell it to our customers, the better food experience that they're going to have because it's, it's 72 hours from harvest. I think those are probably the two big ones.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So a little bit there, you said something about you were a girl from South Texas.
Yes, sir.
So just tell me a little bit about your journey, because I mean this show, we bring people on, and Ed and I, if you listen to the first couple of episodes, we kind of give the whole definition, but we're really about trying to understand people's stories, right?
Sure.
And how they got to where they're at, and things in their life that they're passionate about and stuff like that. So just curious, for you, how did you get to where you're at, and what does it mean, and what do you have, if there's anything that you could offer up for others looking to aspire to great things?
Sure. So I've been with HEB for 28 years. I just celebrated 28 years last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was going to school to be a teacher, right? And I needed a part-time job. So I started wrapping bread for the bakery department in the mid-90s.
Wow.
One thing led to another. I was in store operations for 10 years, which was really fun. I remind people all the time it's important to understand who you serve, and we serve our stores. And so I did that for 10 years. Then I had an opportunity to do procurement stuff. So I ran the Houston warehouse as a supervisor for quality assurance for a year. I was a marketing manager for 3 years. I grand opened 16 stores as a merchandising manager. I was a regional director of the Gulf Coast. I moved back and was a BDM for 8 years. I bought berries and value added, did a lot of fun stuff. I became the business unit director 3 years ago, and I was named the vice president a month ago.
Well, congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment.
That is a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, yeah. Yeah. And but within that, and as far as I know, you're the first female in this role. Is that correct?
That's correct. As business unit director and vice president.
Vice president. So that is a huge accomplishment. And, it happened to you ran into my daughter, who's part of a production, just randomly,
I
right?
happened to run into her last night. That's right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, she was like, so she beams at, successful women that achieved a lot. So it really means, for her, I know what it means to her.
Did she
right?
tell you what happened? I did not know she was your daughter.
No, she did. Yeah, she
Oh, yeah.
she had no idea.
Yeah. I happened to be in the ladies' room, and it was funny because every sink was taken, right? There were women in line to wash their hands, which is not normal. I grew up in this industry. I've been in produce since late 90s. And so it was amazing to me that there are so many young women, right, in their 20s and 30s and young in their careers. So I just asked them, what do you do? And
Right.
it was a fun conversation. I did not know she was your daughter until somebody told me.
You can't. I'm telling you, for her, she couldn't wait to tell me about running into you, and it really resonated with her. So, as that story resonates, how has it been? Right. I mean, what were a couple of challenges, things that maybe you faced for other young females coming up in this business, which is heavily male dominated, right? And it's got its tough side of the business. What are things that you would put out there, or offer up, that may be people coming into this business, or even in other industries and things like that? I mean,
that's a complicated question.
Yes.
So, first, it's got to start with it's okay to choose something that's not the norm, and you have to have an environment and a foundation that lets you that supports that. I'll tell you, I can tell you stories as I was growing up. I heard a great speaker once that talked about being a woman in an industry that is normally male dominated, and I'm going to share it. That's okay.
Yeah.
She was talking to us about being mothers, actually not leaders, talking to us about being mothers of daughters. And her feedback was, teach your girls to be strategic because we're not born that way. And the example she gave was, imagine you're a school teacher, you take your class out to the schoolyard, you decide that you're going to divide the class into two and you're going to play a baseball game. You name the boy the head of his team and a girl the head of her team, and then you ask them to separate the class with their teams. The boy will choose the best pitcher as his first choice. The girl will choose her best friend. The boy will choose the best catcher as his second. The girl will choose her best friend's best friend. And so we have a natural tendency to be maternal, to be emotional. And so teaching girls that it's okay to be competitive when they're young.
Right.
It's okay to want to win. It's okay to want to build a team and to be a leader. I think those are all critical.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great. I love that.
And you've got a young daughter that's
do.
coming up.
She pretty much played every sport that was offered at school this year.
Well, that's the other thing. There's more opportunity. When I was growing up, we had a girls. I'm from Rockport, Texas originally, and
Okay.
I was growing up. We didn't have. It was the first year to have a female soccer team. I mean, this is the early '90s, right? But now there's so much more opportunity than there was back then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Ed's daughter, Lainey, like I say, I can only imagine, knowing her father's competitive spirit, I have a tendency to believe that she got a little bit of that from him. So,
I hope so. Probably more from her mom.
Well, but that's, like I said, it's great advice. So, what kind of things? I know you're passionate about produce, and but what really, I guess, besides, or if it maybe it is produce, what are the things that really get you out of bed, get you going every day? What are you passionate
Produce
about?
a hobby too?
Produce is a hobby. Yes. What makes me excited? So growing up in stores, I think is more important than people realize. We serve people's food, and so if you think about not just that, but if you think about how people express their culture, they express it through food, right? What they choose to put on their table. So I get super excited about what we don't know, right? We're excited about going to the Dallas market. We're excited about the changes that we're seeing in Austin, the changes that we're seeing in Houston. And so it kind of rejuvenates you because you're now serving not only the customer that depends on you, but a new customer that doesn't know you and that we don't know. And so there's a constant challenge and a constant evolving of who we get to take care of.
Right. And health and wellness?
Yeah, health and wellness has been a big conversation. Definitely at HEB, but for personally, I started a journey last June.
Excellent.
So I've had some success in the last 6 months. I'm certainly not there yet, but I've lost probably 45 pounds in the last, call it 10 months, and it's still, again, a journey. So there's more time to have, but I feel great. I think it's been definitely a significant year.
Well, we're talking a lot about industry, people in the industry, and being leaders, right? And taking that opportunity to set the example for the world and stuff like that.
Practice what we preach.
Practice what we preach. Just curious, I mean, was it what kicked off your journey? Anything in particular? Was it an individual or anybody that?
I've got one child that's in his teenage years. I'm going to be 50 this year. And so maybe that's the milestone.
Well, welcome to the 50 Club. Buddy.
I appreciate that. So I've got about 6 more months until I turn 50, and that's where that's how it started. I gave myself 18 months to get there. So age a little bit, wanting to keep doing this for a long time for children, grandchildren, staying in this business for another 15, 20 years. I plan on retiring at 100.
Yeah.
Because I love the work so much. But those are probably two of the biggest factors.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's a good motivator.
Yeah,
I'm
for
a
sure.
year and 2 days from that mark, that 50, and I've felt the same way. I mean, I've challenged myself. My 50th birthday, if it's here or at the show, 100 push-ups in a row. That's my challenge to
That's
myself.
fantastic.
So
you're going to get on the floor and show us here in just a minute, Ed, or have you already done it for
I can do
this?
65 right now straight, but I can't do the 100 yet. but we've been working on it a lot, and so
He was
Craig's been
doing
making fun of me.
He did them on the golf course.
I did
the other
100
day.
before I left.
He
from the
did
room
them
this
on the
morning.
golf course the other day. I
Yeah.
say it.
Well, hey,
I heard the golf was good. I heard you played well. I thought, Craig.
it was a little windy, but yeah.
I did not. Well, I played well for Craig. I did not play well for good golfers. Let's just put it that way.
But hey,
So-
on a just going back to what you were talking about as far as health and wellness. I mean, obviously, our jobs in general. I mean, it seems like you're either traveling or you're sitting behind a desk. For the other day, leading up to this event and getting ready, I think I was at my desk from 6 a.m. till 9:30. And when I
Yep.
woke up, I literally felt like my tailbone was broken. I mean, it was, and I have a pretty good chair at home. It's just excessive, either lack of movement or like a week like this where we're moving around, 30,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tough, obviously. For me, when I started the clean eating challenge, I think that I've said it a bunch of times on the podcast, and some people have heard it before, but the biggest gift for me was the way I look at food and the change in my mind psychologically, where I don't get wrapped up about how great something has to be as far as how rich or decadent or Instagram worthy or anything like that. It's when I'm looking at food as strictly fuel, and I need it to be as efficient as possible, particularly as I'm practicing intermittent fasting and stuff like that. It's actually pretty liberating, just to kind of get all that noise out of the way, as far as how you're perceiving food. I mean, has anything like that changed for you? Or I mean, I still have, I'm addicted to peanut butter. Like, I love chocolate. I mean, there's stuff but I would rather do stuff like, instead of drink alcohol, I'd rather eat my calories. Or if I'm going to have a snack, I'm definitely not going to have a beer or a glass of wine or anything like that. So is there anything like that you can share with us?
Conscious eating has been a big change. I think you said it, food is fuel.
Mhm.
And then just you made a great point. For a couple of years, or for us, it was a little bit less, but we've been sitting behind a desk, and you start sooner when you're not traveling, you end sooner because there's no fixed end of the day. We've been back in our offices for quite some time, but yeah, that was a challenge, sitting at a desk all day. And I think that was actually worse before it got better for me, and that's where the decision came from. The other thing I do is surround myself with good choices, and I think that's been the biggest change.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I was sharing with my co-host here that this has been, not that it's a big challenge, but this has been the first trade show I've ever been to where I haven't had a drink of alcohol and a drop of alcohol. And it was consciously because
His co-host can't say that.
I had a big week this week, and then I'm going straight to San Antonio for another big week. So I knew that I didn't want to lose my voice or just be not operating at 100%. So it feels great, actually. And one thing about not to be judgmental on folks that drink alcohol, I drink once in a while as well. But it does lower your inhibitions for sure. And so it's a lot easier to say yes to something you wouldn't normally eat or you're trying not to eat. So I did notice that as well. So
I think energy level is the other one. It's been a significant difference. It just makes the work fun, right? And life more fun.
oh, for sure.
Yep. Same for you?
That 7:45 a.m. meeting this morning, it was super interesting. I was glad to be there. I got up, hopped out of bed, did my push-ups, and went to the meeting, and it's awesome. It's you have to live and learn, I guess. And I've definitely been to a lot of shows where I wasn't at the first meeting of the morning. But yeah, that's changed.
Well, this has been a great show because we just haven't been around this many people in such a long time. It's so nice to be able to look somebody in the eye and read a face instead of read through a Zoom.
That's a big change, right? I mean, the face reading, I don't guess you realize how much you missed that until you didn't have it for 2 years. And even Zoom calls, even though you could see the person, still not the same as the physical presence of being in the place, right?
You have to adjust how you approach people, right? And you can adjust with a screen. And so being able to be with each other, build relationships, make adjustments as needed, right? Supplier, retailer. There's always going to be hard conversations and great conversations. So I think it's been fantastic to be in person.
Craig, though, you said something that stuck with me, which is kind of rare.
Yeah. You actually never listen. That's why it never sticks with you.
Well, I listen once in a while.
Yeah.
There's two things I can think of, but the one I'm thinking about is when you said we'll go back to live, but perhaps video calls will be what phone calls were before. Like, because I know within our organization we're video calling all day long to each other. All day, every day.
We do. I agree that now we almost have to see each other. So you're right. That could be going away. I mean, landlines. Think about landlines.
Yeah.
We carry our phones in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That's still fairly new. So the other thing for us is our store operations never closed, right? So if you think about what we do versus, or what support teams do like procurement versus store operations, they've been with customers every single day. And I think there's change there. One of the things that we talk about is how do we continue to tell stories about produce? How do you slow the shop down? Customers have been a little bit in a hurry, right? So celebrating beautiful, colorful, flavorful product is a unique opportunity that produce has compared to other areas.
Yeah, and and for me, and that's what's so, and I love this. This is for me, the business of produce. Doing this business is a super passion for me, right? And then getting on a life journey, changing your, how you eat, how you feel so much better, and getting on that process. You want to share that with other people, right? That becomes the thing that is so exciting, and getting people on and finding more people. And sometimes we try and make things bigger. Like we got to change the whole world overnight. And, it's more like if you can just change a few people. And then within this industry, right, you talk about the color, the produce, and the beauty and all the stuff that comes with it. The opportunity for us to really connect with people and get people energized and get them behind it. It's so easy with, like I say, the colors, the taste.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, you feel better. You very likely will live longer, or at least not suffer some, health deliberate, debilitating
we
injuries.
get to lead in health and wellness when it comes
Yeah.
to the product that we offer our customers. Absolutely.
So I don't know.
Well, we made a couple notes. Any initiatives other than Texas Roots that HEB is working on right now you could share with us? Areas of focus, anything?
I think I mentioned it earlier. I mean, we're trying to tailor to the customer that we need to serve in Texas, and that has changed a little bit, right? In those areas that I mentioned, we'll stay focused on taking care of everybody that needs us to provide food.
Yeah.
So how difficult is becoming to consistently provide food at the cost, with all the transportation, with all the logistical, everything coming out? What how does that look? I know you guys are always focused on price and trying to make sure
that is a strong pillar for us. And so you've probably seen that we aren't moving as fast as cost is coming at us. Obviously, it's to protect the customer, make sure that they can buy reasonable priced or low priced produce at HEB. But yeah, that's been a huge challenge. We have some additional network changes coming up to help us with supporting that in miles and distance. So that should help us. But yeah, I don't foresee that going away. I think we're in.
That was kind of.
This is going to be coming in waves, and we're somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's. I tend to agree with you. I dread it as well, because on our side, trying to ship the product to you guys, it's becoming tougher and tougher, and the cost of doing it is becoming tougher.
Being efficient, consolidation, all of those things are going to be more and more critical to help us just manage cost increases.
So, I mean, anything in the technology space, anywhere that you see that could be a game changer? Have you seen anything come across what you've, knowing with your experience, anything out there that you see?
Yeah, we've seen some technology coming. We're working hard on sustainability efforts. We're working hard on. You've probably seen vertical farming, right? There's some things that
everybody's doing that.
We haven't quite yet, but we're definitely keeping an eye on it. For us, not much for the total department. But again, those are probably the two areas that we're staying close to.
What about driverless trucks? HEB going to have driverless trucks anytime soon?
I can't see that.
Come
we celebrate drivers that. Yeah, no, I don't see that today. I think we're still letting that work itself out a little bit before we do it.
Maybe have truckless drivers before you have driverless trucks.
You have the e-com business, right, where there's some automation in the systems. So again, we'll stay close to that. I have a question for you.
All right.
Uh-oh.
So with home delivery, you've removed the ability for a customer to buy their own produce, right? And now it shows up at their store. How are you hearing that's gonna? What feedback are you getting from customers about home delivery on produce specifically?
Mine's short and easy, so I'll just go first.
Yeah.
Just kind of produce nerds. I mean, you're skewed. The perception is skewed because obviously we'd like to go to the stores. So for me, it's almost kind of like a last resort because I'd rather go to the store.
For produce specifically?
Yeah, for produce specifically, yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to even
Fathom
have
having
an
an order.
opinion. Yeah, but Craig?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll try not to get carried away with the conversation. But one, I'm 56. My perspective is not the same as these younger folks in their perspective, right? Literally, from what I've seen, it becomes all of our responsibility to put in probably in a package, right, that shows up consistently as though they went to the store and got it. We have to be good shoppers for the folks on the other end, because that's how they're going to shop.
That's it. That's how they want to receive it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So you made my point. You answered it. We are going to have to be very, very consistent as we figure out ways to give customers what they want the way they want it.
Yeah. That's what I see for sure in that. So,
And it's not going away.
no.
I don't think it will.
No.
Well, look, you've got a big show to get to, I know, and starting your show time off with us is certainly greatly appreciated, but I don't want to keep you. I know Ed doesn't.
Real honor. Thank you very much.
It is truly an honor, and if there's any time or whatever we can get you back, we'd love to maybe have you back when maybe get a full hour and a half or something.
I would love to. I would love that. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
glad to have you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Well, sir, thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. You did okay, Craig.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
We'll
it.
keep you around for now.
And she said my hair looked good.
She didn't. No, she didn't.
She
She
did.
said
She said your hair.
said your
looks
hair
good.
was
She
there.
She
She
said
didn't
my
say
hair
it was
looked
good.
But
Well, that went well.
yeah, I think so.
I think.
I know.
Yeah. Half an hour just blew by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now the show's started.
Yep.
Folks are in there. We're a little more lonely,
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
but we still
Out by
have
ourselves.
the old interweb folks.
Yeah, we do. We do have the interwebs. I got to push that out to a few more folks.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. Wait, no. What's that all about?
Yeah.
What's that? What's the echo?
Well, we're a little bit louder. Our output out there is a little bit louder.
Echo.
Yeah.
Echo?
So don't despair, folks. You're gonna hear some behind the scenes stuff in between guests. It's a long day. We're trying to give you as much content as possible for those that aren't here with us at Viva Fresh Expo that hopefully will be next year. We've got some feeds of the expo entrance, obviously. We're going to be having guests, a couple breaks here and there. So hang with us. If we lose you, come back and join us. If you go out to grab a bite, I'm not sure you can pause us or not, but we'll be here all afternoon.
Well, yeah,
till 6 o'clock.
we'll do the pausing, I guess, on our side.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. We'll do the pausing on our side.
Well, we are back, and
Oh man, I was hoping for a real enthusiastic, and we're back.
That wasn't
No,
enthusiastic.
that wasn't enthusiastic enough.
Well, yeah, I wasn't really. It's kind of it's a
you go
new
out there?
place for me. I went out
have
there.
you been
I
out there?
saw the people. I saw the excitement going on there. But
I'm floored. I mean, so the short break that we did take, I went out on the show floor, went out to our booth because we actually have a booth out there.
yeah, well, I do too.
Yeah. Oh, you're behind me.
Yeah.
Or I'm behind you.
Depends on how you
It's
look
pretty
at
impressive, really. I mean, it's exciting. It's dare I say moving for those of us that have been involved since the very beginning. It's pretty crazy to see that much excitement. It's pretty electric, especially on a Saturday. You know, for folks to be working on a Saturday and be that excited, that's saying something.
So, I mean, I know you saw that, but I think we've been joined by somebody new here.
For sure.
Did you find somebody in the crowd?
We did. Joining us is Wendy Reinhardt Kapsak, CEO, correct, of Produce for Better Health.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Wendy's joined us for the last couple days and has she moderated our cleaning challenge panel yesterday morning,
Which was very impactful and emotional and inspiring.
you know, I had the pleasure of serving on that panel. I was part of the first class of cleaning challenge participants. Honestly and selfishly, I probably could have stayed up there all day. I had a long list of things that I want to talk about, but obviously everybody had to be able to participate, so don't
Well,
say it.
I don't want to get off that subject too quick because I did not have the pleasure of being there. I've heard a lot of noise around, good noise, right? Good feedback on that. You know, for the folks that are not here at the show, who we're trying to reach out to, and then, you know, for people that will hear this recorded version down the road, can you guys briefly talk a little bit about it? You mentioned emotional, right? You've told me a little bit about it, but can you guys just kind of give us a little insight? Those of us that weren't there, you know, what was it? Was emotional? What was it about? I know what clean eating is, but what was the whole panel and what were you guys discussing?
So, as the leader of the Produce for Better Health Foundation, you know, in my job day to day, I'm focused on helping people live happier, healthier lives with fruits and vegetables. As a registered dietitian and someone who's dedicated my whole career to advancing food and nutrition and health, it was inspiring because many people here with the organization have taken the clean eating challenge. And so that to me is already inspiring, people taking an action to improve their health, number one. Number two is most people, when they have a transformative change, as many on the panel did, and that can require losing a significant amount of weight or uncovering maybe some of the reasons why people do what they do, including themselves, is sometimes you're faced with emotions that you don't quite know when exactly it might hit you in the heart and when it might surface exactly. And so I think that's what we were seeing on stage. And it has nothing to do maybe with what they thought, meaning, oh, I want to be healthier, but really more around why people want to make a change or their aspirations. And for the folks on the panel that were quite emotional, it was seeing family members ask them to make a change and a positive change so that they could be around for them. And I thought that was extremely powerful on the panel.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say just a quick analogy. I know when I posted, after I finished the cleaning challenge and posted, you know, the weight I had lost, I had more interest in that post than anything I could ever have posted about any other subject, right? So, and clearly it was a post that included vulnerability and perhaps, I mean, I kind of joke that people like to see a train wreck, so it could have gone anyway. But it's just kind of amazing. Yeah, and I think for myself as well. I mean, you're attracted to what's real, right? And that's really first hard to find nowadays. But people that are willing to just kind of put it all out there, it's to be admired.
Well, and he says that's the most amazing thing. I mean, the lives that Ed's been able to touch, really because of the experience that he had, right? That willingness to be open and out there has probably impacted more people than his physical change or the 50, 100 push-ups, whatever he's trying to do, 200 push-ups he's after, I don't know. But really, it is the opportunity for people to see, wow, I can kind of understand that journey he's on, right? And they connect with that, and via that connection and via his willingness to be as open as he was in the early days, it's meant a lot to a lot of people. And so it's exciting. Sorry I was not able to attend. Somebody had to play golf.
Somebody did.
And so
Somebody had to play that role.
I picked me. So
Honestly, for a first session, I think we had about 300 people there. I mean,
Yeah, you know,
Oh my gosh.
they were. I think folks were, were concerned. You know, people after not having the opportunity to be together as much as maybe they would have liked to over the course of the last couple of years. When you first see each other, you got some partying to do and some backs to slap and some hugs to give. But in fact, people did show up for that first session, and I think that speaks certainly to the community that's been established here. Not just the clean eating challenge rather, but just the community that this organization has been able to develop. You know, when people at PBH, we're focused on transforming people's lives every single day through fruits and vegetables. We believe that eating more fruits and vegetables is the single most important action that people can take for happier, healthier lives, and the science certainly supports it, but it's the personal connection, the emotional experience, whether it's the actual eating experience itself or the transformative change, whether that be physical or emotional, that really gives people a reason to believe, but a reason also to repeat. And we know through PBH research that repeated positive experience usually leads to long-term change.
Right.
And so we uncovered that too in the panel.
Yeah, you know, for you guys and the work you're doing, that's what I wanted to get to, you know, the PBH stuff for sure, as you guys are a nonprofit, and you're really about trying to really change the world through fruits and vegetables. Is that pretty much?
That's pretty much the deal.
What's that?
I mean,
Yes.
PBH was the originator of the 5-a-day program, right?
They were, yeah. Well, actually, it was
Or
the
y'all
state of
were.
California.
State of California.
And then to take it nationwide, then there was a public-private partnership with PBH and some other government agencies, and they took it nationwide. And so what we've learned between then, that was more than 30 years ago, till now, is that consumers certainly have evolved. And back in those early days, a lot of people did not know that 5 a day was where they wanted to go. Today, we have another call to action called Have a Plant. And this speaks to Millennial and Gen Z's desire to not, or many of us, to
That's
not
you
be
guys over
told
there, by the way.
Yeah. what to do, or, you know, how to do things, but really more of an invitation to enjoy fruits and vegetables and the eating experience, which speaks more to immediate benefits than, let's say, those long-term health benefits for which the organization started from. Those are still super important: heart health, you know, reducing our risk of other, major diseases.
Sure.
But that's table stakes here in this business, I believe. And so we want to open people up to have a new relationship with fruits and vegetables and to increase consumption, because that benefits, it benefits people, it benefits business, it benefits the planet.
So how in the world are you reaching Gen Zs? Is it social media?
It is.
Is it social media?
It is, yes.
So you haven't done a banana NFT yet?
No, we have. Well, hey, I've actually thought about stuff like that to consider how we might look at unique ways to fundraise, for sure. So it's on the table.
I'm thinking a zucchini NFT. We should be first. Sun-fed zucchini.
That could be
NFTs.
cool.
There
That
you
could be
go.
cool.
I'm right there.
That could be awesome.
So yeah, but realistically, for this, for really connecting with anybody, right? But particularly the younger crowd, social media is the big thing. Is there anything else outside of social media that you've found that's really resonating with that group?
Well, I think that if you think about where the United States is headed from a population standpoint, there's going to be a lot more diversity.
Yeah.
And so it's not just the movement itself, but how let's say the Have a Plant movement then comes to life through people who authentically are engaging within their own communities. So we have essentially the Have a Plant movement, if you think about it like an umbrella, and then we have more than 300 plus ambassadors that are taking the movement to the masses, essentially to their communities. And that can be, you know, in the digital online, I would call like inspiration space from a food and nutrition standpoint, but we also have ambassadors in retail and food service as well, because they're making an impact within, let's say, what I like to say is retail is the point of sale, food service the point of flavor, and then our online and digital influencers from a food, nutrition, agricultural space, that's the point of inspiration. People have to want a desire to purchase and or select those items when they go to the store,
We always say it's
go
kind
out
of
to eat.
they're kind of impulse buys, right? I mean, for me, when I go in the produce department, there are the staples, obviously, and then a bunch of impulse buys as well. So
I
to a
want-
certain degree.
Yes, I would love them to be automatic pulses versus just,
Yeah.
I want fruits and vegetables to become truly a behavior that has to become automatic. And that goes back to the anatomy of a habit. So I want them actually to be subconscious selections so that it's just what we do. It's just what we do. Every morning I was on the panel, I said, every morning you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
And we all might do it a little differently, but it's an automatic thing. We know we're going to brush our teeth. We have a familiar context and action, and then a reward, i.e. in this case, it's fresh breath. Fruits and vegetables, we've only just scratched the surface in terms of the actual immediate rewards that fruits and vegetables can bring to bear. And it's typically in the context of emotions. I feel great joy, or when I eat, let's say fruit has a personality. Vegetables have a personality. People don't necessarily feel joy when they eat them, but they feel great pride because they know they're feeding themselves and their family something really delicious. So I believe that the industry has only begun to unpack the emotional connectivity that can actually really happen with the products.
Right.
That's awesome.
So, you talked a little bit about the ambassadors.
Yeah.
So action-wise, I mean, do you have some examples of
Yes.
kind of things that the ambassadors are doing and what that means to be an ambassador?
Sure. So we have more than 300 ambassadors, and I mentioned in retail, food service, and at the point of inspiration, or in the digital food and nutrition and agricultural space. So these people essentially commit and or volunteer their time, and they create content that then makes its way through our digital ecosystem, essentially as a distribution network of inspiration. But some of that is not just taking place online. I'll give you an example in retail. So a regional retailer basically determines that they're going to help their shoppers determine 30 ways to have a plant.
Okay.
And so they're going to look at how to pair, for example, produce with other produce items, but also with other nutrient-rich pairings to create meal solutions for their shoppers. And this can take place in like the communications, whether it's their either digital magazine or the circular or some kind of other kind of healthy living type of magazine that engenders a sense of shopper trust and engagement. But we can also do specific product promotions and produce promotions, for example. So some of our produce promotions where we pair a fresh produce item, let's say, with another item, it could be within in the fresh department or outside of the fresh department. Is we've seen upwards of 600% sales increases.
Really?
Yeah, because we're giving shoppers an opportunity to maybe think of something they haven't already thought of. And sometimes we see that can lift even after the promotion has continued. So usually it's not just what we're doing in the store, but also how we're engaging with those shoppers online through the retailers' channels, as well as PBH's or the Produce for Better Health Foundation's own digital channels as well. So we're kind of partners in bringing produce together, not just in the store, but also in the digital and online space.
It's a lot of moving parts.
That is a lot of moving parts.
So I wanted to get to one question before we run out of time. Looking for some honesty. Where does your passion come from regarding produce, fruits and vegetables? I mean, how far does it go back? Is it something that you came to late in life, early in life? I mean, like where were you at?
So as a young person, I really wanted to be a physician, and I did everything you can do before you take what's called the MCAT to get in med school, and then I had a wholesale shift. And that shift really sparked from the fact that my mother ended up having terminal cancer. And so going through that process, I really decided that I wanted to work with well individuals and keep them well. Because when people get sick, they get real sick. And by the time they go to the hospital, they get real sick. And so at that point, it's another professional's opportunity to try to make them well. I began then being interested in keeping people well. So I would say at a early age, certainly in my 20s, I always wanted to help people, but then made that shift from, gosh, am I going to repair sick people, or am I going to keep well people well? And then so I got both my degrees in nutrition and exercise science, became a registered dietitian, and had the opportunity. I think what also motivates me just in my career is working with lots of different types of individuals and to coalesce them around a common goal. And then that's the challenge, actually. And then certainly the result can be advancing opportunities for which people really see that they have more choices than what's really before them in the beginning. I'm interested in helping people see more and get more out of themselves than they even realize.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
That is, it's super impressive, and I love the fact that where your motivation comes from, right? We talk about the business that, for us that we're in, and as you try and get people on this journey, but you're really coming at this from a giving space,
Yes.
right? Yeah, it's a giving space, which is, there's, yeah. I mean, for me, I love that, and I know that anybody's in that space. I mean, that kind of your ability to create a message, having that kind of passion makes it that much more connecting with people, and you're going to have so much more effect than some kind of personal gain, right? Yeah. So I love it that you're coming from a giving space and the whole deal.
And I believe, for those of you that are listening that are part of, let's say, even the industry, is I believe that you are more powerful than maybe even you believe you are.
Amen. I agree.
And so I've worked in other industries for which, when I've seen and experienced them come together around a common goal and then have a greater voice, have more power, and then be able to advance a cause like fruit and vegetable consumption that is really difficult to argue. I mean, who doesn't want it? But that brings me to a point of the challenge, which the challenge is getting the industry to coalesce. And that's it. It doesn't bother me because I believe in you, and I believe that you can accomplish great things. And so you have to do what you do every day, but there is an opportunity to unify the industry around consumption in a way that hasn't happened before. And so I'm on a journey to help consumers every day through the Have a Plant movement, but I'm also on a journey to advance the industry by helping us coalesce around consumption to elevate it as a national priority in the U.S.
So you said challenge in there on coalesce, because I completely agree. You're speaking speaking to the choir, as they say, or singing to the choir here.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, that's right. You're preaching to the choir. That's what it is. Anyway, for me, right? I'm right. What do you think the challenge is to get the industry to coalesce? What do you think our obstacles are? Because I agree. I don't think we are completely coalesced together on consumption being the key. But I'm just curious, you got any insight as to what you think's the challenge there?
I think that sometimes I would love to see the industry have a growth mindset, meaning I don't have a fixed mindset on what the actual pie looks like. The pie or the share of stomach for fruits and vegetables could be much bigger than it is. So then if I agree with that statement, I have to say, well, what is the true competition today? And it is each other in certain instances, but when I think about the bigger picture, it's not. It's every other food that's competing for that stomach share. So if we look and we see kind of another layer up, we really do see that the competition for Americans' time and energy and their share of stomach is not really each other. It's really, we have an opportunity to really grow that share of stomach for fruits and vegetables in a way that the nation really hasn't experienced.
And so so we need to be, what you're saying is the message that we've got to be screaming from the rooftops. You said it's no, I don't believe we're in competition with each other. I think that's part of the problem. We beat each other up. It's like the crabs trying to get out of the bucket, you heard, where they pull each other down, right? It's kind of like that. We don't want to see that. And it's like, guys, we got to quit pulling each other down because we're holding back the pie from getting bigger, right? If we just get the pie bigger, there's a space for us all. But there's even another level to that competition. I think our competition is Tylenol. I think our competition is the pharmaceutical industry, right? I believe, now this may just be me and my craze, but I believe we have the opportunity to, replace medication in some case. I know people that have changed the way they eat and reduced their heart medicine. They've reduced their medication,
One
right?
of our first participants basically ate her way out of taking diabetic medication. I mean,
Yeah.
literally turned it around.
So that's
But there was that shift,
mm-hmm.
and her share of stomach changed.
Yeah.
In a way that changed her individual life. If you want to make wholesale or collective or national level change in a way that shifts from a treatment mindset, if you will, to a prevention one or a wellness one, the industry will have to raise its voice.
Yeah. I completely agree. And, because like I say, there's share of stomach, but there's share of wallet, right? And I believe beyond a shadow of doubt that we're cheaper than pharmaceuticals.
And you taste better, too.
And we taste a heck of a lot better. And you feel better. I mean, it's an energy. But that's a message, we've got to get out the message that you talked about, that, look, our competition is 70%, 80% of the grocery store, really. I mean, it's everybody else in the store that we're trying to take from the share of stomach, right? And there's parts of that's who we want to compete against. And then there's the share of the pocketbook and making the decision. Do you, if we have the opportunity by changing how people eat to reduce their medication,
And I think there's an opportunity, though. You mentioned something about the rest of the grocery store. I don't know if it's 70%, but I do think that there are, if we say that we have to look at the competition, let's say, you also have to understand them, and there's probably a way for you in some instances to work with them. So, for example, when I talk to all of my animal agriculture friends, they recognize that they need fruits and vegetables to shift diets. They realize that. And so I think sometimes really engaging with the competition, if you will, in a different way. I actually don't think they're the competition. I think it's snack food, but how Americans eat today. But we want them to pick these products. We want them to pick fruit and vegetables at every meal and snack occasion. And that's going to, because of the way people eat today, we have to start somewhere. So I always like to give the example of Taco Tuesday. We can have Taco Tuesday. Oh, it's a familiar context. I love Taco Tuesdays. But then we say, okay, well, did Taco Tuesday stop with a little bit? You want more of this. So a little bit of tomatoes and maybe a little bit of shredded lettuce. Well, we could stop there, but that gets boring. And then people are tired of Taco Tuesday and they go to something else. But can we have Taco Tuesday with guacamole and now like sauteed bell peppers and onions and, oh my gosh, and now we have more leafy greens because now we're going to create taco salads and now we're going to do deconstructed burger nights. And there's so many ways to inspire consumers with this, but we have to put them at the head of the table, meet them where they are, and then work with folks that are in a position to help us shift them to us. And they need us too. Most of my friends in the food industry would like to see a shift in American diets in a way that shifts us to the positive nutrients for sure.
And I will concede the correction. So I said 70% because I am a believer primarily in the fresh space. I mean, particularly the protein space along with the produce. So I would say I might have overestimated, but I do think center store, there's some competition in there, although they may not be considered snack food. I'm not sure processed foods are ideal. So it's more of a, like I say, a fresh diet. So maybe it's only 50% of the store that we're competing with. But it is share stomach, and it is about people changing their lives. And for me, it's the journey that I got on, the journey he's been on, the other people that we know, friends that we've talked to got on. It's so worthwhile.
It really is.
It's so worthwhile.
How do you shorten the learning curve to the aha moment, regardless of what level of success or how you even measure success? It's more the psychological approach, and I think that's what interests me the most is getting people to that point where they're not wrapped around the axle about, how much food they eat or when they're going to eat. Or, I said yesterday, I think somebody asked me something about, well, hey, how about travel, How do you do it when you travel? I said, well, through intermittent fasting, which is a kind of a touchy subject with some people, but whereas before I'd get, super obsessed about, hey, I'm going to be on a plane. What if it's delayed? What if it's stuck on the tarmac? What am I going to eat? I'm going to die. Now, through intermittent fasting, I can honestly say, by and large, if I can't find something healthy to eat, I won't eat until I can find something healthy to eat. It's okay.
You know, when I would counsel, I have counseled individuals in the past, and so most people would come to me, for example, for weight loss, and so they would expect that the first thing we were going to talk about is everything that they shouldn't eat. But instead, what I would have them do is actually write out their entire day. Everything from when they watch TV, when you eat breakfast, whatever. But when do they watch TV? When are they in transit? So that way we start to see patterns in our life. And then we start to make some trade-offs. And so when we really are faced with the trade-offs, then we're in a position of control because we can make decisions about those things. And then the what happens in the context of those choices is different. So I think I'm always been in a position to want to put people in control of their own life. And sometimes people coming at it a little differently. Like you mentioned, what works for you, or sometimes people don't even realize their life patterns in a way that they believe and or actually realize and actualize that they can make some different choices. And so to put people in the control, to be in control of those decisions is quite empowering.
Leading them to it.
Yes.
Because you can't hit people over the head with it. I had a good friend, TJ Flowers, was telling me for years, you can intermittent fast. I was one of those people that said I had to eat the minute I woke up. And I had to eat the minute I opened my eyes, and I had to have something to be able to focus. And now I go 20 hours without eating. So the fact that I never thought I could do it and then did, and somebody told me for 2 years, I'm 2 years behind now because I didn't listen to him.
Let's be a little easy on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on that note, Wendy, we're running up against the end of our time here, but we want to give you a chance to let folks know what's next for you, either event-wise, where you're going to be next, or, for PBH, anything else you want to share before we wrap up today?
Yeah, thank you. So at the Produce for Better Health Foundation, we're certainly focused on, like I said, transforming people's lives with fruits and vegetables. What's coming up next for us is we're getting ready to kick off the Celebrating the Roots of Our Food campaign. And that's going to kick off in June, where we're going to celebrate all the farmers, growers, and supply chain heroes that make sure that produce makes its way to our plate. And then we're going to be capping that quarter off, if you will, with National Fruits and Veggies Month. That takes place in September, and it's really a celebratory month for us to really celebrate everything that is fruits and vegetables. And we'll have some new research insights to share that can certainly help different folks, kind of maybe pick a habit that they'd like to start. And so that's something that's coming up for us. We're very focused, though, on, for the next 18 months, elevating fruit and vegetable consumption as a national priority here in the United States. And so while you're going to see a lot of great stuff, as always, coming out from our social media channels at Fruits and Veggies, as you can find us most handles there, is you're going to see more from us as it relates to really helping multiple stakeholders find their place, empowering them to make a stand for fruits and vegetables and really elevate them as a national priority. We got to do it so that we can, in fact, shift not just our health, but also the opportunities for every American to live a happy life.
That's awesome.
So at Fruits and Vegetables, that's how you find you guys most places?
Yeah, if you want to visit the website, it's fruitsandveggies.org. And for Instagram and Facebook, it would be at Fruits and Veggies. And if you're interested in Twitter, always there too, at fruits_veggies.
All right.
So
Well,
that's where you can find us.
I got to believe your Twitter is a little less aggressive than some of the other Twitters out there. So if you need like a positive Twitter place, that's a good place to go.
If you need some positive insights, always on the positive. We got to be.
All right, very nice. Well, look, it's been great.
It's been great.
And,
Thank you so much for having
Thanks for
me.
all you do.
So-
thank
so,
you for your work, for sure.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it.
if it's possible, Laura, can we get a picture real quick? 3 of us. So. Oh, that's so much better. I love that.
All right, go ahead, take over, Craig.
Did you feel the energy with that? Huh?
I just
Not quite Good Morning Vietnam.
No.
It's good.
No.
Oh,
No.
that's what you should
Yeah.
do.
Well,
Can you do that? Can you
no,
do a
there'll be
Robin
another
Williams?
break. No,
Okay,
there'll be another break. I'm trying to
Actually,
save my
coming out. We're
voice.
coming-
We'll
all right.
wait for the last segment.
All right.
We'll just really get crazy.
All right. Well, we are now, kind of going through the day. I just took a walk around the floor. Oh my goodness. You can hear it coming out, but until you actually get in there and feel the number of people, and literally the aisles are packed. There are people everywhere. It's crazy, right?
It is busy. It's fun. It's great to be back in person. I miss all this. 20 years in the business, you and I,
Yeah.
all of us have been together in this. And the last 2.5 years, I think we've all missed this at the end of the day because it's packed in here. Everything is fantastic. Lots of booth traffic, and it's great. It's everything I expected.
Before we get too far, right? I mean, I know just about everybody knows you, but just for those people that don't know, the young man that's joining us today, Mr. Brett Johnson, coming into us from Phoenix, Arizona. Now, that's not your native hometown, is that correct?
No, I was born here.
That's right. You
I'm
are
a
a
Texan.
Tejano.
Yes.
Well, maybe not Tejano, but a Texan.
I am
We'll
a
get to Hano if he wants to.
Yeah, all right,
born
all right.
Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
No, that's
love your Cowboys.
That's where he lost me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure. Hank, are you still a Houston guy?
Yeah.
Are you? Do they still have a team, or do they sell it again?
Still have a team.
Okay, good.
They
All right,
sold it
move
to
on.
the Cardinals, J.J. Watt right there.
This is true.
All right. Let's not digress. Rabbit hole sports.
But we love to digress. That's what we do best.
Yeah.
So no, Brett Johnson is here to join us today. Limoneira is one of our sponsors. We thank you guys very much. I mean, none of this is possible. The show, this show here, us all being together and live in person is not possible without sponsors. So first and foremost, thank you very much for your sponsorship and being part of this podcast as well.
All right, this is a great podcast. We're excited to be here. Viva Fresh to you guys and do a great job, and we're excited. We're always happy to be inside the produce arena and with all of our produce friends out here. So
And Brett and I go back. The three of us all have a connection industry-wide. I mean, not just the fact, hey, we're all in the produce business, but we've all shared some time at IFCO Systems, hustling the RPC business. And Brett now in the more citrus space, right?
Citrus space,
right? Would be it's Limoneira, so obviously lemons are a big part of what they do. But myself, obviously, in the dry veg, and Mr. Bertaud still in the IFCO space. But Brett, for you guys, global organization. I mean, Mr. Worldwide. What all are you guys up to in the lemon or in the citrus space? What kind of things you guys doing? How are you changing the world of citrus?
So we've always grown. Most people don't know lemons and Limoneira kind of one-on-one, but we actually have always grown navels, mandarins, caracaras, all sorts of citrus. We're also one of the largest California avocado growers as well.
What?
Yeah, it's what most people don't know. That's why, if you've noticed, Calavo is on our.
That too loud?
No, that's just like you're moving. You're making me seasick.
So
Sorry.
I shouldn't have drank that energy. Hernando gave me an energy drink to drink, and I shouldn't have drank that. I'm kind of pinging right now, but go ahead. Sorry.
So we're starting to pack our own mandarins now with our partners Wildman and Elliott. So mandarins and navels and caracaras and bloods. So that's fun. We're getting out of just selling the lemons and selling more of the overall citrus game. But lemons are obviously our number one. Always will be. And then we're changing the world through technology and sustainability and social responsibility. That's the main focus of our company right now, is taking care of the land, taking care of the people, and taking care of our customers as well. So
Right.
that's a huge deal to us at Limoneira, for it's how you farm for 130 years at the end of the day.
I'm ashamed to not know that y'all have that kind of variety.
Yeah. Well, I'm not ashamed, but
You're not ashamed?
yeah, never.
Okay.
All the things,
Super
all the
interesting.
things I've done in my life to be ashamed.
Well, the one thing no one knows about, we actually own a grape vineyard for wine too.
Wow.
Hey now.
We have 700 acres in Paso Robles that we grow on. And we don't make wine. We sell it to all the winemakers like Justin and those guys. But we do have a large ranch, a 1,000-acre ranch in Paso Robles. We actually grow wine grapes on.
So, are you at liberty to say what your favorite item product is?
Oh, Wine by far.
Okay, that was easy.
Well, and I'm wondering, I make my own wine.
What?
So could you help a brother out? Get me a few grapes.
I don't think
Stick
he
at the
wants his grapes in your bathtub.
You don't think so?
No,
4K.
because that's not a good way. That's not a good ending for them.
Oh my God! So say you talked a little bit about sustainability
Yes.
and the housing and some of the different things.
Yeah, so we there's the housing piece has always been a part of Limoneira since the beginning because Ventura, Santa Paula is not an easy ride when you have horse and buggy. It's a full day and a half north of Los Angeles, and so
Right.
we've always housed workers. Our main offices were the original bunkhouses. That's spread over the years and built up, shrank down, built back up. But we have about 300 homes in the area, all low rent to no rent for employees, families to come in. There's people that have literally grown up on the ranch and, been a part of Limoneira their whole life. Parents have worked there, siblings, everybody. And it's a great aspect. I remember my first week I was out to dinner with Harold and Mark at a local restaurant. And the chef came to me, or we were ordering dessert, and the chef comes out, and Mark was wearing a limo shirt, looked similar to this, and he came out. He's about 24, 25 years old, and he says, "I just want to thank you guys." And he didn't know he was talking to the CEO and the CFO at the
wow.
time, right? So he just thought we were Limoneira employees. He goes, "You guys provided a home for my family. My parents worked for Limoneira. We grew up in the home. We just finally moved off, and you guys gave me a scholarship to go be a chef, and now I'm the head chef at this really nice restaurant in Oxnard."
No way.
That was my first week there.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
So I was like, that is what you do this for, right? To see, and I run into people from other companies that are in the Oxnard. Obviously, there's a big produce area, Oxnard and Ventura area, that like, oh yeah, I grew up on property, and it was fantastic, and how much they treated our family and how they treat our family. And that's the kind of company at the end of the day that you want to work for a long time and retire. And it was really cool to see that. And so I was just like, that is awesome. That's employee housing. Doing that for your employees is a big piece of Limoneira.
That's awesome.
Good history.
You know what else I learned from that I really liked?
What's that?
Limo is a lot easier to say than Limoneira.
Limoneira, yeah.
So
I might have
Limo it is.
I might have a better chance of spelling it regularly as well. I think I've spelled it every way but the right way
Well,
several times. So
Yeah,
You get a pass.
sorry. I shorten it to Limo. It makes my
Limo,
life
I like
easier.
Limo too. I think I'm going to go with that going in the future. So you mentioned some buggies and horses and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure people aren't getting that way from LA there now. So I'm just curious, has Limo been around for a while?
1893 was when the family started growing.
Dang it!
So 127 years, 128 years now.
Wow.
And they've been growing in that Santa Paula Valley for the whole time.
Started with lemons. What was their first crop?
I'm pretty sure it was lemons.
Yeah.
I would have to probably double check with Alex Teague. And so Teague and the Edwards families were some of those first families that have been growing for multiple generations inside the Santa Paula Valley, both involved in the company.
And I don't know, Ed, did you know, are you familiar with the global footprint that they have? And are you familiar with these guys? Y'all went public back in 2012?
2010, I think.
2010.
2010.
2010 was it? So publicly traded, it's a produce
I have
company.
a feeling you're going to tell me.
No.
No, I want to know.
Did you know all those things?
I didn't know. I mean, I'm learning a lot
those
of
are my
stuff today.
questions.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
know those things? I mean,
I did
these
not.
guys are not small.
awesome. No.
Been doing it since 1893.
That's a
They are.
long time.
What is your so market wise? Is the U.S. your number one market?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
What's number two?
Asia.
Asia. Yeah. So and you guys, you ship pretty much globally all over.
Yeah, all the seasons are always moving. It's
Right.
produce, weather, conflicts in Eastern Europe change everything and where things go. But yeah, Asia is probably our second. We've done Australia, Europe. We do pull up Argentina and Chilean fruit up to Europe. Have partners there. So it's pretty globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there multiple varieties of lemons that y'all grow, or is it just one in particular?
There's two main varieties everybody grows. So the Eureka is the main one, and that's what we grow. It's your standard lemon. There isn't a lot of seed varieties. The trees are in the ground for, at least in District 2 and District 1, for many, many years before you pull them out. So coming up with new seed varieties, it takes a long time. It's 5 to 7 years before you get full production out of a tree. So
Yeah.
you plan your push out blocks and replantings very carefully and do it slowly, so you don't lose too much production.
And then is there a second?
Second variety. You said the
Lisbon is the other
Lisbon?
variety. Yes, I was trying to remember it, so thank you for giving me time.
so the so you mentioned did you guys have business over in Ukraine and Russia? Was that part of your portfolio, or is just the logistical transportation getting?
We don't have any business in Eastern Europe. It was more Italy and Spain and more of the Western Europe side. But Argentina growers,
Okay.
which we don't own any land in Argentina. We use partner growers there. But Argentina growers, about 30 to 40% of their crop typically goes to Russia
Gotcha.
and Ukraine, which obviously in conflict, it's now that fruit's got to go somewhere else. So it does affect us in that aspect because import season's coming, the summer season's coming, and now you have 40% more fruit. What are you going to do with? So it'll be an interesting import season this year.
Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be the push on the markets, on all the places, all that fruit's going to go. And yeah, that's crazy. And so those folks that are in those countries really will be without that food.
Ukraine you can sell to, but I don't know if U.S. does not want you
Not
selling
doing
to,
anything to Russia, yeah,
No.
for sure.
and you don't want to be tied to it either.
Yeah, and I understand that for sure. And then what about you talk? I mean, trees in California. A lot of your orchards are there. Orchards, right? Is that
Mhm.
yeah? Water.
Always an issue.
Yeah.
Always an issue. If we don't get it's consistent. The Colorado River obviously is the main barometer of that and all the agreements. There is a lot of concern with D3, which is the desert.
Okay.
Yuma, Cadiz, Coachella, and getting water there. There's a lot of growers pushing out crops there of trees to try to go to less water usage. Most of our farms or our orchards are all drip line. There's still some flooding, but not much. It's mostly drip line. Saves a ton of water.
I was gonna add that's got to be a much
Yeah.
better way, much better process.
Well, and we've started planting. If you ever come to Santa Paula and we're always anyone's welcome for a tour. We'd love to have them.
That's an invite, Craig. That sounds
Yeah.
like a road trip.
Well, second part of that question is wine included on that tour?
No.
You can do wine in downtown Ventura.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
beautiful down there. You'll love it.
Don't tell him that.
Come on. I'm there next week.
But we actually started planting our trees on berms, and so the berms help with retaining the water
Okay.
and help with the water usage. And trees, actually, lemon trees want dry feet. They don't want wet soil at their bottom of their roots. So that helps with that. So we get all the yard waste from Ventura County, and then another company mulches it on our property for us and ferments it and does all that stuff, kills off all the seeds.
Right.
And then we put it in our fields and all between all of our trees, and that keeps moisture in the soil more, and it also keeps weeds down.
That is awesome.
So and then it returns organic matter back to the soil, so it's a complete cycle piece. Another piece that we do on the sustainability piece.
So really a purpose-driven organization. You talked about the housing and the encounter at the restaurant. I mean, you've talked about several things, but the organization is, and that's the amazing thing when we get a chance to talk to companies and people that are in these successful companies and things like that you're part of, is realistically it's not just about selling citrus.
Mm-mm.
Right. There's a purpose, right? There's an emotional connection, and as an employee, that makes a big difference, right? As opposed, you're coming to work for some place that's got a purpose and got a reason. So it's
And as farmers in general, I would say that I've been in produce I'm on my 20th year now overall. You have to be a good steward of the land. If you're a farmer and you're not good to your land, you're not gonna produce what you need to produce. So
Yeah.
you have to be. Sustainability is natural in farming. It should be a part of every farmer's plan
Yeah.
as they do everything, whatever you're planting. Because if you can't sustain it, you're not going to have anything left when it's all said and done. So naturally, we should all be sustainable, and then they bring that to the people side as well. With just the great culture that we have and fun stuff there. So.
all right. So what about Brett Johnson? Where's your passion? I mean, I know you're passionate about produce, but what inspires you?
Baseball.
Baseball. Nice.
That's
And
that's
and if I'm not mistaken, which I know that I'm gonna you're a Dodgers fan, right?
oh,
Really?
Oh,
That's great.
no, he's
No.
not. He's not. I
kinda figured that.
He might be the opposite of that.
so yeah, the side is all baseball, and my kids. I got 3 teenage boys these days, and that's a fun and exciting times. My wife and I have fun with them. It's a fun age, but it's a challenging age, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can just tell you that is a great time and a great spot in life. Now, do you coach?
I've stopped coaching.
Okay.
I ran a league for 9 years, and I coached for about 11 or 12, but I kind of stopped all of that and just watch my kids play now, baseball and football, and enjoy watching them do what they love.
Yeah.
Does it take years off your life like it does me when my kids play sports?
I've learned over time to sit back, and I usually have a 32-ounce Yeti holds 2 Coors Lights.
Wow.
And I usually sit in the outfield.
Hey, listening, go check Brett's drink the next time he's at the Little League game. So true story. So back, my son played competitive soccer, and one of the dads, he enjoyed a cold beverage. He didn't do the Yeti. He had like a magnet Coca-Cola thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he would wrap his beer can in a Coca-Cola deal. And so as far as everybody knew, he was drinking
It's like a
Coke.
Coca-Cola koozie.
It was a Coca-Cola koozie for sure. So,
Yeah.
But
That keeps you nice and calm. It'll be fine.
well, hey, so I know you got a booth to run, lots of customers to speak with, but we do want to, anything, from that we haven't covered in the Limoneira space or in your space.
Upcoming next show
Yeah.
where people can find you.
Yeah.
Hey, we're at booth 910 here. We'll be at every show. We try to make all the regionals, especially. So I'll be at West Coast.
West Coast is your next one up.
Yep, I love that JW Marriott.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's back in Palm Desert this year. That's for sure. That's one of our favorite places to go. This is Dallas. Coming home is one of my favorites as well. So we'll be at all the shows.
So you'll be back next year here?
Oh, every year.
Okay.
My wife was upset she didn't get to come this year. She's a teacher, so it was kind of hard.
Yeah.
They're back in person, so it was difficult, but she'll be back next year for sure. And
cool.
We're here to sell citrus, do the right thing for our people, right thing for our customers, and right thing for the industry. So we're always willing to host tours and talk about whatever is next on the list.
Can't go wrong.
Indeed. Well, Brett, we sure appreciate your time,
Yep.
Bud. Thank you so much for
been a
coming
blast.
out. Yeah, and thank you for the sponsorship for sure.
Thanks, Brett.
Have
All
a
right.
great one.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Tell John I said hello, by the way, and we're sorry we missed him.
I will.
All right, Ed. Well, we are rolling and rolling,
We're rolling
along,
along.
man. We are tearing it up.
Sit here.
Good,
Little
yes. That was
Be
fun.
safe, baby.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for making me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
So,
Well, we all okay?
we doing good over there, crew? Mason's. No.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that. But we'll do it. We can get a shot with him before it's over. Oh, here he comes. He's coming back.
Brett, come back.
Back.
We want a shot with you,
Need a
apparently.
picture.
Are we talking about? Are we talking a picture or a shot?
Picture.
Oh, I thought we were going to do a shot.
I got it.
We're going to throw up to Brett.
All right, folks. We will be right back with our next guest. We're going to take a little break, but don't go away.
And we are back. Is that better, Ed? Is that a little more energy? That energy drink is kicked in, man.
Oh, really?
Gosh,
What energy drink was that?
something Hanaro gave me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be
Mine was
dangerous.
ginger turmeric. I think you had ginger coffee.
No, mine was the it was some kind of purple.
Oh, yeah, that berry one had
Good.
caffeine in it.
Did it?
I think it was Suja.
Yes, Suja.
Yeah.
Suja juice.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so I do their they've got one for health and wellness. They've got one that's health and wellness. I don't know. Are you familiar with the Suja juices, sir?
No,
No?
I never took one of those, but I do other brands, Red Bull, for example.
You're a Red Bull.
I don't know if I have to.
Please.
click on- So,
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
give him any Red Bull.
Oh, okay, okay.
He doesn't need any Red Bull.
So,
Yeah.
so before we get too far off into this
Sure.
is Jose Landa. He is with StePac.
That's right.
These guys are one of our sponsors. As you all know, all of this, none of this happens. That show here, this show here, golf tournaments do not happen without sponsors. So first and foremost, thank you, and the StePac team, which I've got a very close relationship with.
Absolutely.
Super great group of people and what you guys do. So
Right.
Thank you,
for
Jose.
thank
Thank
you for
you,
the
guys.
sponsorship and joining us today. So for sure.
Thank you guys for having me today. It's an honor for us to be here with you guys, and yeah, for sure we have several years working with you guys, and for sure we want to share all of our all of what we have to do for the environment and everything with you guys.
Yeah. No.
Were
That.
you expecting this setup? Were you expecting?
Not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. It's
I don't think we were either, but we're super happy.
really professional, really good.
Thanks to our.
You guys got your bikes on? Make sure you don't. I'm picking up noise. Anyway, sorry.
No,
Hey,
that's
yeah.
fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Just doing a sound check and it didn't sound good to me. So, but
Whenever you're ready, I'm okay.
we are ready. Well, we're rolling. This is what we
we're
do.
live.
Well, we actually do kind of fly by the seat of your pants. I'm more of a disciplined kind of guy. I like it to be really
Oh my God.
set up, notes and everything. This guy here,
So full.
he just shows up. Here I am, hey.
know.
And then the crew, they're like,
He's the bully in school that makes you do all the work.
that is,
I do all the work,
oh my God.
all the prep work. He's the bully that makes me do all the work. And
He's
I'm
certainly
like,
the one that does the most crying. There's no doubt about that. So I don't know about me being the bully or not, but he cries a lot.
right.
So
All right.
anyway, not to
So,
take
Jose,
away.
wait, I want to ask him real quick. What
Sure,
What do you
absolutely.
think? Is this your first time at Viva, or have you been here before?
No, I've been here before in 4 years ago. Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
But a noticeable difference. As far as,
Definitely
as far as
huge
attendance.
difference. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot of people right now, and every year it's growing. So yeah, it's completely different.
I'm wow.
very proud of
I had a good idea of how many people were going to be here. A little behind the scenes look, but I'm surprised how many people are here.
How many they are
Well,
right now?
Dante mentioned north of 2,400. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow, that's a
um,
really good number.
yeah, it's very impressive.
I think is there an opportunity for us to wager on this?
Sure. Over under.
Yeah, we could do an over and under. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay. Well, you're challenging me. I'm not gonna say under because that comes off as a negative. So I guess I'll say over.
Well, but you got to pick a number. We're not going to have.
Okay.
So in other words, you say over 2,500.
Okay,
over
we'll say 23. I'll go over. You go under.
No, it's definitely not going.
It's
It's
100
definitely.
bucks?
It's
All
definitely,
around
no,
that
no,
number,
no. It's
yeah.
definitely not going to be less than 23. Yeah, I'm not giving you. Never mind. You're going to try and
Well,
corner the bet and
Well,
try and
you
win.
tried to challenge me.
Yeah. All right. So
better
the-
luck next time.
The good thing is that it's growing, and all the time it's new people here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good
So,
for everybody.
Adding value for sure is definitely one of the pillars of this show. Adding value
Definitely.
to the association, to our members, to the sponsors, exhibitors. That's the only way it makes sense. So
Yep.
we're
to build-
glad to hear that you're happy with what you're seeing.
Yep. Absolutely. Very proud to be part of here.
So a lot of people may not know about StePac.
Right.
SunFed is very familiar with StePac. It helped us change the veg category. So for those of you that don't know who StePac is, they do what's called a modified atmosphere film. plastic.
Modified atmosphere and modified humidity film solutions technology.
Solution.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are trying to do different kind of technologies for the produce in order to keep it more fresh for longer distance and to arrive to a longer distance in all around the world.
Yeah. So I mean, so for us as a company, it's made a huge difference in what we do. And like he talked about, it's the freshness of the produce. And if you think about the supply chain, and quite often, we're in southern Arizona. And some of our stuff, goes up to, certainly to the Northeast and into Canada on that part of the world.
Mhm.
So it's a 4, in some cases, 5 days journeys to where we're going.
That's right.
And the product, back before what StePac brought to the table was we had product that struggled to make it and be sellable when it got there.
That's true, and that's what one of our best advantages. What we're doing is, in general matter, we are trying to, with our technology, we increase the CO2 levels, we reduce the oxygen, and with that, combine it, we do the shelf life extension for the produce. So what we're trying to do is to, for the grower, to the packaging, to give them this added value for the produce. And if you are going to sell it 3 days after you deliver the produce, you're going to see the produce as if you harvest the last day. So that's the advantage using our technology with StePac.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know the science of produce, but I mean the continued process. Technically produce is decaying once it's cut from the plant, because Mother Nature originally intended for it to decay and become a seed and then plant up. And it's propagation. It's all about propagation, and part of that decay process requires oxygen.
That's correct.
Right? Is that
That's
not
correct.
right?
And what we are doing is inhibit this kind of all this environment in order to keep the produce fresh
Right.
for longer.
So now, are you spraying the produce? What are you using? What kind of material?
Well, what we're doing is a passive modified atmosphere.
Okay.
That means that we are not doing something chemical.
Okay.
So we are just playing with the rate of respiration of the fruits,
Right.
vapor transmissions of the bag. So combining these two things, we calculate each rate of respiration for each produce, and based on that, we develop the bag for each produce. So we are doing like 21 days extension of shelf life for example, for bell peppers, for cucumbers, for a lot of eggplants, a lot of produce that is coming here.
How many different sizes of bags?
Well, right now we have more than 52 produce, and with
Wow.
all of that produce, we have different sizes of boxes, since 1 bushel, 119, 47. There's a lot of presentations right now for RPCs, retail right now. We're working a lot in retail right now, trying to, as the market is becoming a lot of, it's evolving. It's a lot. We're trying to do more retail packaging. We're just focusing on the bulk bags in the past, but right now, because of the trending of the products that they are trying to achieve to more individual presentations, we're trying to develop more packaging for that kind of sector.
So what kind of? I mean, I got to believe you're having some impact on food waste.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's one of our major objectives to reduce the waste, the food waste.
Right.
Yeah, actually, and we're doing that with the shelf life extension. Yeah, and it's for us it's more important to reduce the CO2 emissions than the, well, not than the packaging. It's equal, but it's very important.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and and you talked about taking some of this technology even to the consumer level. Is that correct? You're
That's correct. Right now we have lot of different solutions in the market, and one of them is the leading film, for example, that we just recently developed, and we are doing that with the ready-to-eat tomatoes, for example, or the cucumbers, or the mini cukes, so that all the kids and all the for example, all the people that just grab and go and
Right.
take this kind of produce
Well, but for me, you think about food waste. I mean, there's certainly a lot in the current supply chain, regular retail supply chain, but really a lot of that food waste happens at the house.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
and they get it to the house, and maybe they need, one or two of whatever you've got in the container, but the others sit there for a few extra days, and then they continue that decay process. So if you're able to take it out, reseal it, put that lidding film back on, and put it away, you're going to have fresh product a
Exactly,
few
you're
days
gonna
later.
save more your produce, and you, instead of dump this material, you're gonna use it, and you're gonna continue using it. Yeah,
That's amazing. So.
it's very good.
So what about the materials you're using? I mean, you guys, I know plastic is, everybody's trying to figure out things, right? But I mean,
Right.
your technology requires certain nylons and stuff, and so it's not as
Exactly.
simple as, hey, let's just create something recyclable.
Well, yes, we have been developing different kind of polymers in all this time. Nylon is one of our most popular polymer that we use, but
Right.
right now we are doing 100% recyclable materials. We're doing compostable materials as well
Okay.
right now, which because of the we are trying to take care of the earth as well, of like they take care of us as well. So it's a little complicated to get all the characteristics that we offer with this kind of materials, because you need to play with a lot of conditions
Right.
in terms of rate of respirations, in terms of temperature, in terms of thickness of material, water vapor transmission, a lot of things that they are involved to that you need to combine in order to have a good product to sell it, and to sell it with the recyclable situation as well and everything. But yeah,
And
composto.
I think these guys may be like the Elon Musk of the produce business.
I mean, I'm super interested what your background is. Like, where did you get started in your career?
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot of technical stuff you're throwing out there that obviously just didn't fall in your lap.
I know. Well, I'm industrial designer. I had well, yes, I'm very familiar with the plastics, with the wood, with different kind of materials. That is my background, and I have been working in the industry for more than, I think, 10 years right now. So that is part of my work background, and yes, I'm very familiar to the plastic, and I've been there with StePac like 7 years now, and yeah, I've been.
Obviously, in this portion of your career, you are involved with a agricultural application. Before this, has it always been agriculture, or has it been industrial packaging for other?
Well, previously
items?
arriving to StePac, I've been working with another company, which was for PET trays, PET
Oh, okay.
recyclable plastic. And
Mhm.
I was just dealing with that kind of packaging before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, but now here.
That's great.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So we gotta ask. I mean, so passionate, right? Our last guest is a baseball guy. What's your passion? What really do you get fired up about?
Man, I mean, I have right now a lot of passion. I love to do woodworking right now.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite things that I do on the weekends with my kids and with my family. I
Awesome.
really like to build. I'm doing right now the bed for my kid. And
You're building a bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
And it's really nice.
hey, Craig, how many beds have you built?
I don't know if I can count so many.
Yeah.
No, I can't say that I've ever built a bed, and I don't know that anybody would sleep in a bed that I would build. I can tell you that. So, but woodworking. So, are you whittling? You know what whittling is?
Yeah, so it's like kind of crabbing or something like that.
No, are you? You're familiar with? Yeah.
Yeah. No, not really like that, but I'm just simple things, But yes,
but hand tools or electric tools?
electric tools. But,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean,
Hey, you got to save some time. You're a busy man.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, that's my passion right now. I do some other stuff as well, but mainly that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, for us, I mean, we thank you guys a lot. Anything, outside of what we've touched on. I mean, you guys obviously are in the food waste space and trying to be a change agent for that, and you absolutely are. You're trying to take a look at how plastics are done and how do you guys do them different? How do you help with the food waste as well as help with environmental issues and create plastics that can be compostable or recyclable, whatever? Anything else that you guys are working on that we didn't touch on or we need to hit?
You know what? We are always very close to the customers, trying to visit the facilities and all around the world. We have a lot of knowledge to share with the people, and we're always open to approach to the people, and if they need some kind of information or guidance or anything of post-harvest process, we can help with the team in Israel. And we're very open to help people to reduce the waste of the produce and to achieve longer distances and everything.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So is way that somebody can find out about what you guys are doing? You guys have a website?
We
you
have-
got a Twitter page or anything like that?
We have LinkedIn, we have Instagram, we have yes, our webpage. It's www.stepac.com. And
So how do you spell StePac? Because I'm not a good speller.
StePac.
STE.
StePac.
Yeah, see there, StePac.
We have been here since 30 years. We started in 1992.
Wow.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
evolving.
impressive.
Yeah. Developing a different kind of films. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you very much for the time, right? Thanks for coming up here on stage. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you
to
for the
Viva
support.
Fresh and being part of this, but supporting us, supporting Viva Fresh, and
We hope you come back for sure.
Absolutely,
Please.
whenever you want. Yeah, thank you very much, Craig. Thank you, Ed, for having us and
you,
to
sir.
share this information with your audience. It's very important for us, and yeah, thank you.
outstanding, baby. Well, take
Thank
care.
you.
Good to
Awesome.
see you. Yep.
Good to see you.
Stick around for a picture. Hold on.
Yeah,
one
we got to
second.
get a photo up. You got to come in.
I want to run you over, Craig.
Awesome.
Thank you, Craig.
All right. And
And
we're going to take a
all we got now. We've taken
No
it.
break?
That's no,
No
break.
break?
It's
All right.
they're getting
No break.
they're
Okay,
getting a
tough it
dose.
out.
They're getting a dose of you and I now. before The next ones
Okay.
come up. It's just you and I, baby.
let's
Okay.
go.
And so, well, where are we going to go?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
You know, we have not talked about all the things that's going. You know, we were in a meeting early this morning.
Okay.
Lots going on in the world. Obviously, you know, with the Ukrainian situation.
All right. Do I need to pull my notes out?
Do you have notes?
I have a couple.
You never take notes.
Really? Okay.
But I mean, in our business and the meeting we were in this morning, you know, the impacts of inflation, the impacts of transportation, you know, where the world's going. I mean, it's a curious space, and there was
Curious is an understatement.
Yeah, I guess it is. I was trying to
Um,
figure out a nice word without saying,
Yeah.
you know.
We had some information shared with us that was, I guess, I mean, I've thought about it, but a little more unsettling than I expected. I mean, particularly as it relates to the supply chain, what the future outlook is. Really, we have to be, as an industry, very, very careful as to what we do in the future to ensure a continuity of supply.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, you know, for sure, you know, if the world, you know, as we in this business try to continue to feed the world, feed people here in the United States, I don't know that everybody realizes the impact transportation is having on all of us and how we're able to operate. You guys and moving your boxes around to the appropriate places, us and getting our stuff out to customers. You know, the sheer transportation costs are going crazy, as well as, you know, our ability to even get trucks sometimes is a problem. So, you know, sometimes it's not even about cost; it's just about ability to get it, and then that's getting pushed into the price. I don't know. It's going to be a challenge for this industry, for all of us. I mean, we've been through many, but it's one we're going to have to be faced with, and we're going to have to get through. Every day, baby, ESPN every day. So
Couldn't help himself.
it's first heckler,
Yeah, but there's one in every crowd.
except for the guy that threw the business card at us. I don't know
Yeah.
what that was, but
Well, there's one in every crowd, and then there's Ward Thomas.
yeah. And did y'all cut us off?
No, there
Oh.
was there was a hot mic on. I think it sounds.
That's
way
what I
better.
was telling you. Whatever y'all just did, whatever y'all just turned off. That was what I was trying to tell you about that mic's picking up a ton of background noise.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys, y'all are hearing behind the scenes here, but
Yeah, you know.
man, it is what we do. But anyway, transportation. But it's going to change the world.
Yeah.
Produce is going to have to figure it out. It's a hurdle we've got to get over for sure.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know you only own AI controlled cars.
I do.
Right?
That's
They
it.
drive you
That's
around-
me.
Drive you around Tucson.
Well,
I heard about
yeah.
the AI car.
You can ask Tanya. Tanya.
I know. I just looked at her.
Now,
She looked away.
I don't think she
didn't
can
wanna
hear me.
admit-
I'm
don't think
telling
she
you,
wanted to
they
admit to
turned
it.
off the outside speakers.
Oh, okay.
Laura's looking at me with puzzle face. Tanya, can you hear us? Tanya, raise
No,
your hand
there's
if you
no-
can hear us.
There's no output.
Laura, raise your hand if you can hear us. Okay, you can't. There's no output. Anyway. All right, now we got it. Now we can hear
Okay.
us. So we were asking AI. Ed was asking about AI cars. Yeah. You're my wife,
You
right?
only
Still
drive
my wife,
AI
yeah.
cars.
So, hey, you know what? That's an awesome idea. Well, oh yeah, here she
I
comes.
would love to get her
Are you gonna have
honest opinion.
Oh my
of-
God! See, look, this is the kind of risk I'm willing to take for the show.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna take your lid off. You're not taking your lid off.
I don't
Does she need to hear us?
her mic's not on.
Apparently.
episode of Viva where she showed up at that political rally and they made her wear a
Yes, I
And
do.
then she had to get back on the plane and do another event, and she took her hat off, and her hair had that big ring around it.
So this is the
That's
what
my
your
hair
would
looks like
be.
right now.
So I always kind of, that what was her name in Veep? What was Julia Dreyfus is the actress Christine.
Yeah.
Christine. You kind of reminded me sometimes of her. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a compliment.
No, it is absolutely a compliment. I love that show. Just saying she had a lot of spirit about her.
Okay.
Yeah, she was very
Well,
spirited.
spirit is one way to describe it.
She is a very spirited lady. So this is you've heard me talk about my lovely bride. This is her. She doesn't hear, I guess you're hearing everything through the secondary, right? You don't need headphones.
I can hear you right now.
Can you? Okay.
Is she our biggest fan? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God, is she ever? I don't know. It's a battle between her and Callie.
Yeah.
I do
Well,
think.
my wife has the podcast on a loop in the house almost all day when she's at home. Do you?
Yeah.
No, she
All
doesn't.
right. Well, she's number 2 then.
No, and I think Craig gets his feelings hurt because I don't listen to every one of them. But I've heard him talk for almost 32 years now, so.
So that's enough.
How could you get enough of this? I don't understand how you could get enough of this.
Oh my God.
Really? Seriously?
I go a week.
You don't get enough.
I
do
take a
you?
week break at a time, and it's
Oh,
sometimes not enough.
I'm glad to wake up with me every day. I just got to tell you that. So
I'm glad to wake up with you every day.
you wish I wasn't talking.
I didn't say that,
Yeah.
sweetheart.
So a little bit.
It's better you don't listen.
So what about your life journey? You're an artist. You come from a small town called Calhoun.
Yes.
Yeah. You met a young, good-looking cowboy from Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they turned your
No.
mic off. I don't know why.
No, it's on. Let's just
I don't know. Mason keeps messing with stuff. All of a sudden, I'm hearing the entire world. I'm hearing this speaker going, and then all of a sudden, he turns it off.
Well, we have a lot of people to contend with here
I
running
know.
around. So
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Good.
All right.
I
Perfect.
just like listening to myself.
I know you. You've got you on a loop.
Are we
That's
still live?
that's the person that's on a loop. It's Ed's on the loop. What? Of course, this is
Get up and leave now.
this is the show, man. You should tune in. This is what we do.
Anything you'd like to promote before you go?
What I like to do, though.
Would you like?
Anything you'd like to promote before you go?
Oh, yes. I'm an artist, and you can look at my work at TanyaJoynerSlate.com.
Tanya
We have it.
Joyner. How do you spell Joyner? I'm not a very good speller.
It's Tanya, Tanya, Joyner, Joiner, Slate, SLATE.com.
Awesome.
Amazing art. And if you ever find yourself in Tubac, she's in what's the gallery in Tubac?
Horses in Motion Gallery.
Horses in-
Tupac, Arizona.
Horses in Motion. And then
I also show at the Steinfeld Warehouse in the Arts District in Tucson, Arizona.
and I'll be there sometimes as well. So, you can always stop by and say hi to me and pick up a little piece of art. So,
Yeah. I
Sweetheart-
like to paint. I don't like to talk.
yeah. So she does not. So there's not enough room for two talkers in the family. So she reserves all the time for me.
Not enough oxygen. But something productive came of the day. So thanks
Yeah.
for joining us.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Love you, baby.
If nothing else.
Well, I don't know. We got one of our big fans out here. Jeffrey, that's a
That's
talker.
true, though.
Come on, Jeff. Jeffrey Lynn, you got to come up. Come on.
Hey, Mason. Just a little bit up. It was a huge difference.
All right. I mean, I'm looking at my best friend, since ninth grade. I can't hear you, Mason, but guys, this is the biggest fan. There's
Our
no
biggest
doubt.
Fan.
Jeff is listening. He was the last guy that I would have thought. If I had to predict biggest fans, it would not have been him when we started this thing. But he literally is. He walked in today. He looks amazingly different, in a good way. Now for Jeff, I mean, Jeff's found fasting. You hear me and Ed talk about fasting. If he would come up on stage, he would tell you that is, at least for him, And he's quick to qualify. Look, he doesn't know if it's the answer for everybody. For him, it's certainly been a game changer and a life changer. But I'm super excited for me just to see the guy. Looking as good as he does. His health scores are freaking amazing. He's changed. He's a game changer. And he's now out there trying to apostolize. Is that a word? Is that a word? Somebody shake their head. No, apostolize not? To be an apostle. How do you you apostolize, don't you? No?
Well, you stumped me there.
So,
No.
a disciple.
A disciple.
Is that right? But Jesus' apostles were followers, but they were, yeah. But
All right. We get
anyway,
the
they
picture.
spread the message.
Spreading the word.
He's trying to spread the word, the good word of health. Jeff is trying to spread the word, and not only trying, he believes in it, changes lives. So for me, that's super exciting. See somebody I'm so close to. I mean, he's might as well be my brother from another mother kind of a deal. So super close to him, and glad he's listening. He gives me, he and Tanya, they're always more than happy to be honest with me. They don't feel like that they need to pull any punches.
I'm not honest with you.
You're honest with me as well. I don't. And most of
right.
the people close in my life are very honest with me. So
That's good.
But,
Need that.
Yeah, we do indeed.
Keep you humble.
And I don't know what we had Nathan on the list. Is he coming to see us? What's
I
Nate?
think we could have a little time before he comes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the show's still hopping. There's still a ton of people in there. I mean, I can't see past the first row of folks through the door. So typically, I mean, this is kind of later in the day where folks would, I'm sure a couple people cut out to head to the airport, wherever they're traveling from. But we still have quite a few folks here, I should say.
We do.
I know that we'll be here until it's over and then some, right?
Yeah, 5:30, 5:45.
5:30, 5:45?
Yeah, that'll be us. We are going to help that. We should have. We should have
Don't we have
lots of
people for
family that. So yeah, everybody. Jeff, Tanya. Tanya's going to be head breaker downer.
I just want to make sure I get my gear back.
Get your gear or your groove.
My gear, the few things that I brought, like that's my setup at home.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, do we want to
Take a quick break.
take a quicker break?
Let's take a quick break. We'll be
I'm gonna
right
go
back,
get me a-
folks. We
I'm gonna
still
go-
have a
it's-
couple more interviews.
It's time for me to break the
What?
the cocktail fast.
No.
It is.
No, it's another half hour before happy hour.
I've seen people with
Well,
their
yeah,
happy hour.
because folks are giving samples away. Does that mean? What does that mean?
I think I need a sample.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back.
All right. See you guys in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
And are we live? Are we live? Well, Mason, you don't ever tell me very well. And we
Yeah, we need to bring a light next year.
Yeah, we need a red light next year.
But
Flash that
you
dude
gotta do the
on,
hand.
you know?
green light.
Hands
But yeah.
Yeah.
or, you know.
He does that counting thing, and then he just stops. Like I'm supposed to understand.
Three
what's
fish
going
in the
on.
hand.
So,
I think that's the way you're supposed to do it.
okay.
No, but you gotta,
Because if
Well-
you said something that you might pick it up, so that's actually the way they do it.
Well, hey,
But you're learning. It's
We're,
okay.
we're back. We're back. We're live.
Thank you.
We have a marketing genius that has joined us.
oh, that's tough.
I mean, he's the only guy in town that might have slightly better haircut than I do. But I'm not really sure it's better than mine. It's just maybe as good as mine. So
And that's a tough bar.
it's a high bar. So this
I
is
will say there's hair there.
there-
That's about as far as I'm going to go.
that's what you.
There's
that's,
a lot of hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He does have the hair.
Mine is
You
starting
know,
to gray.
Both of you guys.
I'm getting a
He,
little gray.
he used to drive a convertible,
Mhm.
and he'd like to put the top down. He had this scarf, and he would ride through southern Arizona. Can you imagine this guy? heading down to Rio Rico. He's got his hair blowing. He's got a scarf.
I don't remember
on.
the scarf,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, let's go with that.
You
Clapping him there.
come
I have a
on.
scar.
Oh, I wasn't supposed
Why would I
to.
have a scar?
Wasn't I supposed to talk
Why would I
about
have a
that?
scar? It's Southern Arizona. What have a scar?
You just wanted the look. You didn't need the
was an
scar.
ascot.
It was
It was
an ascot. I'm
There's a
sorry.
difference.
I didn't realize that's what it was.
Difference. Come on.
So this is Mr. Brett Burdsal.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
You know, I want to get somebody out of the crowd that could give us a good perspective on the show, kind of what you're seeing. This is, how many years have you been coming?
So I missed last year because of COVID, because it didn't go anywhere.
Did you have it?
know? No. I knock on wood, no. Four shots so far. and
40
so-
shots?
Four.
Oh,
Four.
I was going to say, you're only supposed to get 4.
I would do 40 if
Would
it
you?
kept COVID.
Yeah.
I'd line up once a week. I figure 10 years from now I might grow a third eye or something,
Yeah.
but that's 10 years from now.
That
Don't
might
worry
look
about
good,
that.
too.
Don't
Right?
worry about
that.
that 10 years from
10 years from now, it could be good.
I'd like to be here to get the third eye.
That's
That's how I
true.
look at
Yeah,
it, right?
that's a good point. Good
So
point.
no, but other than that, I think I've been coming every year since when it became Viva.
Viva, yeah.
When it became Viva.
Yeah, you never saw the
No.
the pre-show.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah,
I've heard the stories.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
The short stories.
yeah. We didn't have many people, but we
Yeah, in
had
the
lots
old days, the booths would have been set up in a space like this, which
Yeah.
is this outdoor hallway, or
Yeah.
this outer hallway from the expo. That's kind of what the booths consist of.
No, from my understanding, it's come a very long way. It's a great show. It really is. It's probably, since I'm sitting here, my favorite show by far. You know,
Hey, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you can come again on that show. You get to come back.
I'm already working my return, right?
So you say that, and I realize I think there's some. You're honest with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What do you think makes this different? What does this make this your favorite?
You know
What kind
what?
of thing?
Okay, I want to know that, but let's hear about Brett's day job. We still haven't-
We'll get to it. We're gonna let him promote himself.
Which one?
All right.
Which one?
What?
You know, honestly, I think it's so much of the show is location, right? So, and this is the customers, the growers, the participants are not locked in,
Right.
but this is a location that locks you in, and that's nice. So you don't have to be the biggest player in order to get time with the customer, time with the customers you're looking for, right?
Right.
And so, I'm not going to badmouth any other shows.
No, I mean,
They're all
it's
great shows,
not-
but
not
some
that
of the
they're
shows,
bad.
some of them are too big.
Yeah.
And the players there are too big, so that
Yeah.
they dominate the retailers and the wholesalers and the brokers that you want to get in front of.
Yeah.
And that's life, right? So that's
Being
what
a
these
product
shows are.
of your success.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that's the success of this show. That is still, it's the right size to attract the retailers and the brokers and the wholesalers that you need, and the growers and so forth. And you'll get to see them.
Well, and in the show, I mean, Ed and I being part of the steering committee and founding group of this, but realistically, we pride ourselves on the size of it, because it does give everybody a chance to see each other, mingle,
Yeah.
know who, again, there's a value for everybody involved, from the customers looking to connect with people producing the produce, as well as those folks producing, quite often relatively small companies. And so, so very proud of that. All right, Ed, I'll let you get to, you wanted to talk about Brett's day job. I introduced him as a marketing genius. And
My current role is actually sales with Dayka Hackett. So no marketing.
No marketing at all.
with Dayka Hackett. No, just.
So you're no longer a genius?
So marketers can sell and vice versa?
I've been told. I've
Wow.
been told. No, it's different for me because I was always in marketing, and sales is a different role. I was always in marketing, business development, right, but never the day to day. And I've had the privilege at Dayka for 3 years to do a lot of program sales. A lot of we have a phenomenal base. We have a phenomenal grower base. We're growing like crazy, and so it's been allowed me to work with a lot of the retailers that I worked with before that knew me for my work as a marketer, to now actually go in and sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know he did for SunFed. I mean, we still support his artistic and creative stuff on a regular basis, right? I mean, really did create some stuff that was there. It was iconic. I mean, it gave us some great identity, and
What happened to that shipping container?
it still exists.
Really?
It is for sale if anybody's looking for a
I
shipping
would love
container.
to make a hunting cabin out of it.
Put just slap in your backyard. Put it.
You got money, buy it. That'd
We'll
be
negotiate.
perfect. That would be good for you.
I tell you what.
You know what? You maybe could set that up on your new place.
$500
Callie
I'll
might
take it
buy
off your
so
hands.
You could live in it.
right now.
Yeah.
You should do something with it. It's an amazing. It
It's
was
really cool.
amazing.
For those that hadn't seen it, these guys created a booth out of a shipping container and kind of took the walls off of it, varnished up the wood flooring, built a meeting space on top of it. I think it was like tilt up wall or something
the
like
front tilted up, so it gave us the big banner.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we were Sunfit was a small company, right? And we were at PMA. And how do you stand out if you only have a 20 by 20? You don't, right? So we said, okay, we don't have a lot of money, and so for $50,000, we which is a lot of money, but you spread it out over multiple years. Yeah, we built a shipping booth, and we had and the beauty of it is that because of that upper floor, we were able to get people off the floor.
Yeah.
And that was the key, right? Because there's always people circling, waiting for whoever you're talking to, just to catch an eye so they can zoom in and get them, right? So we were able to get them off sit down. We'd bring in beverages and take a seat and have some beverages and hang out. And
in
it was
a relatively manageable space, whereas you would otherwise need one of those 60 by 20 jobs, right?
20 by 20. And for what it would cost you to build a 20 by 20 every year, because of the labor cost, we killed it. We killed it because we didn't have to build it. So it was I'm sorry you guys don't use it anymore. I mean, you know why? You know why?
Right here in this space.
You mean maybe we could buy it for the show?
It would fit right here.
Yeah, it would fit right here.
It would fit right
We
here.
could do the show from here.
Yeah.
Mason wouldn't have to set all this stuff up.
Yeah. You can invite people upstairs. You can
nail
do
it
from
all
up top.
down.
You can do it from up top.
You know, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, if could you put wheels under that dude?
It's sure.
You could strap it onto some wheels.
Yeah, roll it in. Because you couldn't put
Yeah,
it.
we could go on the road with this thing.
Really?
Let's put it on a flatbed.
Flatbed. Me and you rolling down the highway, shooting the show, shooting the shit. Can I say that? Can I say shit on the show?
You can set it up outside.
Huh?
You can set it up outside. Have your do the podcast from outside.
Yeah.
Have a little thing underneath. Yeah.
Man, there's so much we could do. Hey, before I forget though, Dante Hackett, were you guys part of one of the acquisitions?
We are the acquisition. You're
the acquiring guys.
Futura bought us.
Futura, that's what I
Futura,
wanted.
which was Dave Cross from Sunworld. His group bought us, and then we've also merged with Terra Fresh, which is a big organic grower out of California.
Yep.
Then there's a couple others down in South America and so forth that were great growers and so forth that we're merging with, and they're being acquired. So we're just adding to that base.
Yeah, lots of consolidation going on in the industry, right? I mean, just everywhere.
I think farming's really hard and expensive, and money was really cheap for a while. That's changing, but there's a lot of people that I think, and I can't speak for any of the people that we acquire, but I think there's a lot of people waking up going, man, this is hard.
Yeah.
This is
No, I think you're spot on, and obviously Sunfed's been through one,
Right.
and
Right.
you just see more and more of it. People, right? Getting acquired and getting sucked up, and it's just going to be consolidation. Like I say, the farming's hard. Bigger's starting to become better. It's hard to do. You got to have good financing and all that kind of stuff. So
a couple of bad years and it hurts.
So what do you see? Anything exciting out there in the? I know you're on the sales desk, but anything on the marketing side, marketing space that you just really get excited about that you've seen coming, or innovation-wise, it's been out there?
To me, the biggest thing I think that we haven't seen yet, and I still keep looking for, is sustainability and packaging.
Yeah.
And it's something that just America hasn't gotten behind yet. You see it in Europe. You see it in South America. It's huge in France and Sweden, Denmark. But the U.S. is still just hasn't moved on in a big way. There's some guys, some small players and so forth, but that's probably the biggest surprise for me, is that you just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And so that's not it's coming. It's just, when's it going to come? Plastic can't be king forever. There's too much of it out there, and you gotta, sooner or later we gotta stop. I mean, you got California's. I mean, global warming is here, right? That's not debatable anymore. So
You got the Tucson first in the summer.
Yeah, you got fires in Arizona right now like crazy, right? No rain in California. Brazil had crazy rain. Chile had crazy rain last year. It's real, and it's going to cause got to do something. Plastic is not the sole culprit of all this.
So you think that's still a place that we need some big innovation, is in the plastic space for packaging?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I think it's single-use packaging, and that's what that stuff is. Personally, I think recycling hasn't been in existence in the U.S. in a long, long time. Not on plastic, right? That was the lie we were all sold, that hey, this stuff's being recycled and so forth. It's not. It
Right.
wasn't. It was being sent over to China. China doesn't make cheap products anymore. India doesn't want it. They've told us to keep it, and we don't have a system set up. So there's a couple people trying to do some things, loop and so forth, but realistically, I feel that we can move away from plastic. I think there's some innovations out there.
In our business, you know, or my day job with IFCO, we talk about reusable. Recycling is last resort, really.
Yeah.
Really, reusable is really where it's at. So
Yeah. And you guys have a system, right? You have a system. You're taking it back and putting it through the system. Coke bottles don't have that. The clamshells for tomatoes, things. Not to single out anybody, right?
Sure.
That's not there. It's not their fault. The system's not there. I mean,
When I was a kid, Coke always had it because one of my first jobs I had was racking Coke bottles.
glass or plastic?
Well, it was glass.
Well, glass. Yeah, we
I know.
returned them at the 7-Eleven,
Yeah,
right? Got a
probably,
nickel.
I was probably doing that maybe before you were born. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why you don't recall those
Got like
days.
a half penny, a half
Yeah.
cent.
You know, I forgot. No, they used to be like you used to get it was 5 cents, 10
Yeah,
cents.
I remember
Even
that.
as a kid, you know, we would go and dig them out of ditches and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, hell
so,
yeah. Yeah, as long as they were clean, you could return them.
Nah,
Nickel.
we could just
Where do you
kind
live, Brett?
Memphis.
Memphis.
Tennessee.
That's a great
Memphis. Isn't there,
town.
isn't there a song, Memphis?
Are you from Memphis?
Memphis.
No, grew up in Savannah, Georgia.
Another great town.
Yeah.
Wow, where are you gonna move
Yeah.
next? Charleston?
That's a beautiful place. You know, we're not sure. The kids are off at school. Both girls are in college. Just the two of us. We bought a house that was for the four of us, and 3 weeks later they went to school, and my wife didn't quite realize they weren't coming back.
Oh,
And so
nobody told her?
No. She just figured, hey, they'll come back.
Yeah.
Summers and Christmas, and in a good way, they're not coming back, right? You don't want them to come back,
Yeah.
right? It's their turn. So now we got a big house in Memphis, and we're going, why do we have this big house in Memphis? Who knows what's next?
Yeah.
That's the joy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know, Italy or something. Do something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
brother,
off the
we
wall.
appreciate the
thank you.
impromptu conversation. Anything you want to leave anybody with?
No, just thanks. Thanks for everybody for coming out.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming
Thank
out.
you guys.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll have
Thanks for
to,
the support.
Yeah, thanks for the support, and
Yeah.
like I say, coming up, and glad you're here at the show. And you know, like I say, pass it on to your chums. Get to Viva Fresh for next year.
Whoever you don't see here,
Yeah,
try to get them here.
put them
Yeah.
on the list.
No, it was nice to. It was
And
nice to be
sign up early.
And tell them to listen to the Fresh CrEd too. That's
Fresh CrEd?
Yeah, so,
I like it.
yeah,
I like
so,
it. How many episodes for you guys now? How many episodes is this?
This is we're right at our first year anniversary. It's what is it 36 or
36, I
35?
think.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Ed-
nice.
Ed's
Congrats.
got a birthday coming up, and I think he's turning the same age as we have episodes. So you're like 36 at this next birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
Wow. Wow. We were born the same year then, obviously.
What a coincidence.
Right? I don't know what that year is, but
Maybe I should move to Memphis.
Yeah.
it's all that good living.
Yeah.
You seen the movie Cocoon? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, for sure.
That's where I'm going.
I do have to say hats off to the lunch. It was much better.
We ate and ran because we had to come over here, but it was pretty
The
good.
food was great.
Yeah,
the
it was
food
really, really good.
Was very, very good, and it's hard to serve that amount of food well.
And
it's very hard to do.
And that type of food. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
you know, they really stuck with
Yeah.
finally at one of these events we've got healthy. They're actually sticking with the message.
Yes,
You
yes.
had
Yes.
what was it? Grain free. What was the dessert? It was like a
It
grain-
was flourless.
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 The salad was amazing.
If you've never been in a cooking space in a facility like this, they are amazing. You go back there. First of all, it looks like an office building, and so there's offices. All the chefs that I'm sure they rotate through.
Yeah.
They can't all work 24/7, and then these huge prep areas. It's crazy how big of a space that they use. I mean, it's basically the length of the building behind what is right now the expo hall. I guess on the next floor up.
to be able to serve it hot and fresh, not dried out, and flavor is a feat. It's a feat, and
Well-
and especially the food. Like we're not talking a chicken breast here.
No, they were talking salmon.
Yeah, no, this was.
I can't cook salmon that good I'll try it
Yeah.
there all the time, and
Yeah.
that was as good as any
Yeah.
restaurant I'd
No,
been in.
and-
Well, and to echo something Dante mentioned prior to lunch, or I think right as lunch was kicking off, one of the focus points, or some of, a large part of the focus when we were talking about this event early on was, look, we're in the produce industry. We definitely want our food to reflect the business we're in. We don't
Yeah.
want, the run of the mill. So every facility or resort or hotel we've ever worked with that's kind of been on the forefront. And so it's been really, really good to work with those people.
And the snacks, you had the skinny pop and the pretzels in the back.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, this is how it should be. This is the new, right?
Yep.
It's how it should have been this way, but this is the new. If we're going to be leading people to eat this way, like Dante was pointing out, then hey, we've got to start somewhere. No, it was cool. It was very nice. Thank you.
For sure.
All right, buddy. Thank you
Thanks,
very
man.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna go see if I can grab Richard real quick. So, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all.
We will be back in 2 seconds.
All right, we are live now. Hey, look, we just grabbed a gentleman that Ed and I met for the first time this morning. Just some really interesting concepts or information. So this is Richard Kottmeyer, and he is with FTI Consulting, and you're responsible for the ag, beverage,
and food.
Correct. For top 10 companies in the.
Yeah, we're a top 10 global consulting firm, New York Stock Exchange listed, 6,400 consultants, about $4 billion of revenue.
Oh, wow. All right. So, and the thing is, he's got some amazing perspectives on just really, we talked a little bit earlier, Richard, about, me and Ed were talking about the food supply chain, right? And our business and what we're all in the ag space. And being what you do for a living, you've got an amazing perspective on what's going on globally. So this is going to be pretty much kind of you walking through that. I know you got a plane to catch, and I've just grabbed you out of the audience. So if you give me
some highlights.
Yeah, just the highlights and catch it. But I think it's everybody listening will fully be interested in what you got to say.
So I think the most important thing for produce to understand today is that even if the conflict in the Ukraine ends today, you have 3.5 years of food inflation. You have the possibility of radically new supply chains, particularly with announcements that Russia may want to go and completely cut the Ukraine off from the Black Sea. That's just one thing, because you had food inflation already. And so you model what could happen to Europe, and quickly you see that you could have a 3, maybe 4% decline in GDP, which is huge. You see food inflation, which is worse by far than what we saw in 2008, which of course started the Arab Spring. So what does that mean for produce? Produce has a remarkable opportunity, actually. It has some risk. Small berry, in particular, would have some risk. But the upside is understanding what happened the last time American consumers were forced to trade down because of food inflation. And I think the most important thing to understand.
Trade down meaning.
Trade down, yes. So, for example, the classic example is if you were buying beef, you might buy pork. If you were buying pork, you might buy chicken.
Right.
Right. In other words, you are going to trade down. So we like to say that for the past, 5-6 years, we've been creating premium upon premium upon premium of food. This case, you're trading down from those premiums, right? So in the restaurant industry, you might have a favorite local restaurant, a little bit pricey. It might be going down to Applebee's. It might be from an Applebee's or what we call a quick casual to a quick serve restaurant that did phenomenally well during the last food inflation period. So what happens is the entire universe of people, from poor to very wealthy, will trade down. Even those that don't have to trade down, they will trade down. Food away from home will take a dive. Food at home will increase. But then there's a certain percent of that population who is moving from food away from home to food at home, trading down.
Right.
that's then going to trade up.
Okay.
In other words, they're going to say, look, I'm eating at home, I'm eating produce, but I want it better.
Right, right.
I'm eating pasta, I'm making pasta, but I want it better. On top of that, they're going to want it more convenient. That's what happens when you have inflation. You got to work a little harder. Everything's a little more of a struggle. Everything's a little more stress. Doesn't matter if you're at, where you are in the food chain, pardon the pun, of economics. Everything's a little more stressful and convenience becomes important. But so does health. Health really takes off in periods of food inflation. Now you might think that's the craziest thing, Rich.
Yeah, I would think that would be opposite.
That I'll just eat whatever calories I can find. And for a small percent of the population, that's true. But I think we're still at 86% total food security in the United States in terms of, last reports. We're remarkably food secure.
Yeah, I was going to say 86% surprises me. I didn't realize that.
That's pretty
Yeah, no, it was higher than I thought.
Yeah.
And again, food inflation is, at double-digit percentages, depending on how you want to count food inflation. But let's just say it's high.
Right.
And if you're in Europe, it's really high because on top of that, you're going to deal with the farm to fork policy that adds, you have 10%, then you add another 10% on, very likely. So produce also is going to find that the European market is going to shrink. So there's going to be supply, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be supply. Where does Europe's produce, the produce that would go to Europe, go if indeed, you continue to put food inflation upon food inflation upon food inflation? And I see no indication that the European Union is going to pull back on its farm to fork policy, which is unfortunate.
It's an environmental effort.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So basically, it's part of the Green Deal, the Green Initiative.
Right.
It's largely tied to climate change.
Right.
And sustainability, and and it's pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be pejorative, but it's certainly dramatic what they're doing, and it comes at a cost. And I think everyone needs to know, with food inflation coming to America, that it comes at a cost. When there's not enough fertilizer, it comes at a cost. Somebody goes hungry.
Yeah.
And so that's rule number one to know today. Somebody goes hungry. The next thing to know is somebody has an opportunity. And that opportunity, I really do believe, is in produce. And one of the things I'm afraid of, is that produce companies will foolishly cut innovation, focus solely on, cutting costs and operation. Well, if I'm going to trade down to trade up, by definition, you need more innovative product, right?
Right.
Yep.
This may be a really good time for product launches, not a bad one.
Interesting for sure. When you talk about European GDP shrinking 3-4%,
That's Europe. That's Europe. I
understand
that is Europe.
That's
not
Europe.
The United States.
But from a global scale, right? I mean, you're really talking about what we're looking at. Because if I'm not mistaken, the statistic I heard on calories, world calories, 30% or so come from the Ukrainian, Russian area, the eastern part of Europe. Is that correct? Or
I know how you calculate that. No, it's substantial. It's substantial. Let's say it's substantial. I wouldn't go 30%. I mean, again, there are calories that people eat and there are calories that animals eat.
Yeah.
And then those animals, the calories that animals eat, then, do you add them to the calories that the people eat, or do you subtract them out and say those are not human calories? So depending on which way you go, that way really does change that number. But look, it's the breadbasket. It's a breadbasket. You cannot deny that just losing the Black Sea, just losing the Ukraine, would be an enormous black swan to agriculture. You put COVID in, you put food inflation in, you put more conflict that occurred in Africa in, you put this, you put the logistics issues in. I mean, we're piling on drought. We're piling on one after another, after another, after another black swan. And at some point, this escalates to a real global problem.
So, Richard, pre-COVID, let's say pre-COVID, pre-conflict, what was our pace? Were we on pace to meet our food needs globally?
Okay.
And then about what percentage change was COVID and what percentage change was the conflict?
Okay. You're always in danger with percentage changes, and I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. So I'm going to try to give you a range and tell you how to look them up, and it's very easy. So the best way of monitoring global food security for the future, which is important. So by 2050, the world needs 50% more calories. Some people say it's 50% more food, but again, when you say food, that's volume, right? Calories far more specific. There's a report from the Global Harvest Initiative. It's called the GAP report, and it talks about something called...
Is that an acronym?
Yeah, so the gap is the gap between what you need to be at, what you need to grow at, and what you're currently growing at. So
Gotcha.
the gap is literally a gap.
Gotcha. I got you.
And then it's total factor productivity, TFP, which basically says, we can't put more land into production. There's just not that land.
Right.
So we're going to have to be more efficient. So it's really an efficiency. How much more efficiency are we getting such that we're growing more with less?
I got you.
And so there's a calculated number. What do you need for total factor productivity on an annual basis? Now, before COVID, as you asked, we were not hitting the number. And a lot of times people say, well, we're close. Okay. Let's imagine for a minute that you're 1 degree off of center, off of north, right? And you're going to walk across your room. Big deal.
Yeah.
Now, you're 1 degree off, and you're going to cross the whole world. You're going to go around the whole world. Well, let me tell you, you're not coming back anywhere close to where you started.
Yeah.
So if we compound a little bit of loss of total factor productivity, we're not growing at the same rate.
Right.
Over a 50-year period, because I really think you need to go beyond 2050 to really look at 2070 too. But even 2050, you're looking at a 30-year period roughly. Little losses escalate very quickly, and that's why a conflict is going to be felt for a generation. And more importantly, it's not this year that's going to be the worst. No way. It's next. Next year.
Next year, 2023 is what you're
Right.
seeing.
That's when the plant isn't going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
That's when, some of the potash, it got out ahead of the conflict. 2023 is going to be a very, very hard year.
Wow.
And I'm worried for North Africa. I'm worried for West Africa. There were 6 conflicts, or successful coups. There were a couple more. On average, it's about 1 to 2. So we are already in heightened conflict side. Now we're going to put on food inflation, which is worse than what happened in 2008. This could be the first of several conflicts that we see.
Well,
like I say, it's, we could...
That's a lot to chew on.
Yeah, I was going to say, just that little compact piece of information it's got obviously some scary statistics, some scary numbers, but, you did talk about the opportunities that exist.
There is opportunity.
And we're going to all have to figure it out, but really appreciate you, giving us this few minutes.
You bet. I'd say one thing.
Yes, sir.
One thing. In times of trouble, people care about their health. COVID proved that to the entire retail industry.
Yeah.
Well, produce did pretty well during COVID.
Yeah.
This is another time of trouble.
Right.
Following a first one. This is a remarkably good time for the produce industry to pound home the theme of eat well, eat vegetables, eat well, eat fruit, right? Healthy living. That theme will play very, very well now.
I love that. I love that as a great finish. I may take that tagline. That may become part of my eat well, eat vegetables.
Right.
Eat
Absolutely.
well, eat fruits.
Right. Look, somebody likes more fruit. Somebody likes more vegetables. That's why you split it.
Yeah.
But between fruit and vegetables, pretty much everyone has something that they like, right?
For sure.
And that something is generally a whole lot better than a lot of things that they eat.
Better than the alternative.
Absolutely. It's all comparison.
Yeah.
And you know what? For all the consumers out there, the other great thing about eating healthy and eating well and eating your fruit and vegetables are literally the most sustainable agricultural product out there. All you got to do is look at how much water it takes to grow a pound of a typical vegetable versus a typical oil seed for like cooking oil, typical coarse seed for animal feed, or just an animal product, right? A lot of times you get this garbage of like Dirty Dozen, and I just want to scream at them and be like, hey, dummy, you grow the stuff in dirt, right? Good food grows in dirt.
Yes.
Dirty Dozen, dirt.
Yeah.
Where do you think you grow it? Dirt. You know what you used to play in until you became, video game junkies?
Yeah. No offense, video game junkie.
Yeah, no. Look, I play video games. But I'm saying, we used to play in dirt. We knew what dirt was. We weren't afraid of dirt.
I think I ate dirt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did too. A couple of fights, I guess. The other thing is literally Environmental Working Group. By your standards, a ding dong is less dirty than a strawberry. Now think about the absurdity of this. Are you going to eat a ding dong rather than a strawberry? No, I mean, if you do that, you're the ding dong.
Yeah.
You're the ding dong. So literally, the whole concept of the Dirty Dozen is ding dong logic.
I think you're pretty passionate about that whole Dirty Dozen.
It's the most fabricated marketing that I've seen in a long time. It's a great fundraiser. That's all it's good for.
Got you.
I'm going to write ding dong logic down.
Ding dong logic. You're a ding dong if you use
the
a ding
Dirty
dong
Dozen is
logic.
ding dong logic, pure and simple.
Hey, look, that's got rhymes. The Dirty Dozen is a ding dong logic. That could be a song, kind of.
We'll work on.
We'll work on that. Hey, Richard, thank
it's
you
my
so
pleasure.
very much,
Thanks so
man. I
much for your
appreciate
time.
it. We hope to catch you again sometime.
You
right?
got it.
Picture real quick before you
Yeah.
leave.
You bet.
Get a-
Thank
get
you,
a
sir.
pic.
Can we get a picture real quick? Before
I don't know. We got Tanya. Somebody get a photo.
Oh no. She will. And we are back. Correct? Awesome. All right.
Good.
So
Vietnam.
here we are, about 30 minutes from wrap up at Viva Fresh Expo. We've had a lot of conversations today about how great the show turned out. Probably no one more happy than yourself. We have joining us is the CEO and president of the Texas International Produce Association, which puts on the Viva Fresh Expo, Dante Galeazzi.
Yay, Dante! Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Excited.
So I mean, I've seen you all day, but haven't really shared any reaction. I'm still kind of floored. How many people are still out there?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing more impressive than that was how many folks there were in there about 10 minutes after you opened the doors. It's a pretty big space. How many exhibitors did we have this year?
So we had 200 exhibitors.
Okay.
A little over, almost 50,000 square feet of show trade floor. And that number you're talking about is 2,200 bodies went through that door right there.
Wow.
And saw everything we have out there in the region.
Wow.
They saw the Tex-Mex region, and they're still out there looking at it.
Yeah, I don't think they want to leave.
They don't. 5 hours later, people are still walking that floor.
Well, maybe we can do extend it. Can you do that?
Listen, the ability to extend it is absolutely in my power. I just have to talk to these two guys to my right over here and see if that's something they want to do.
I don't know. Craig's got to get to dinner.
Yeah, I got a
apparently.
dinner plan. So
Wow. All right. Yeah.
So my vote is no. Yeah.
You know what, Dante? For you, I'd starve. I would go till tomorrow without eating.
Would you fast?
Ed
I
loves
would totally
fasting.
fast. I love it.
Ed
Yeah.
wanted to talk.
I had lunch today, though. We've already talked about
So
that.
can we drink?
Can't cover.
I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if we were drinking or toasting. We could drink. So.
Well, yeah. Let's.
I haven't had any alcohol since I've been here, but I'm going to drink a beer
Let's give it toast
Okay,
to the
okay.
show.
for and with y'all.
Hey,
Right here,
Cheers.
here we go.
Fresh CrEd, Viva Fresh.
Salud.
All about first, baby. And
That's
all about
right.
Health.
That's exactly right. As we drink our beers
Oh, wow, I forgot how good that
and
was.
vino.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Should I be that excited about the taste of that?
You shouldn't be because you had some about 5 hours ago. I think. I haven't had one of these in about 6 months.
but this is a great opportunity to celebrate, though, guys. I mean, look at that floor.
I know.
Look, just a few months ago, we were facing all kinds of challenges, right? You had supply chain snarls, you had weather events, you had all these different things happening. This situation in Europe obviously is not great, but none of that exists in that room. You know what exists in that room is people coming back together to do the thing they love, which is this industry, to talk about fresh produce, to talk about building their businesses, to talk about doing their opportunities, but most importantly, they're there just talking with each other again. Here we are post-pandemic, and this feels like where we left off. This feels like Viva Fresh. This feels like what we envisioned when we designed this show, and it is so exciting to see that happen.
Yep.
Amen. Amen. I mean, there's been, and your talk at the luncheon today, the clean eating stuff, the winners of that, the start of a new group.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new
right.
group starting up.
When do we start looking at that again? Those folks? When do we do the casting call?
So we'll do the casting call this summer, probably about July or August, because we've got to get everyone in place so that way by October 1st, we're ready to go. We're kicking it off because then it's 6 months from there. And then the next Viva Fresh, which is actually going to be back here in the hotel, the Gaylord Texan Resort in Grapevine, Texas, a whopping 3 minutes from DFW. We'll be here March 30th to April 1st.
March 30th, April 1st. Put it on your calendar now, please, because I'm telling you right now. What did you say, 2,200 we got?
We got 2,200, and we turned a lot of people away because we didn't have hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And we are resolving that. This hotel is going to expand the capacity for us. So we're going to be able to take more people.
We're going for 25. That's next year's number, right?
Are we auctioning?
I don't know. I mean,
All right, you know what? What do you got? What do you got? How many? What do you want?
You're gonna do
You
this-
going 25, 25,
bring
10,
more.
20?
Craig, bring the rest of his family. Maybe I don't know.
Hey,
We can accomplish that pretty
half
easily.
my
I think.
family's working this show,
That's-
by the
that's
way.
pretty handy.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
that.
I'm slacking.
I don't-
mean,
I don't-
I'll
I
bring
don't-
my family.
I don't
working.
see your family working here.
Seriously, my family's here. He was helping me.
Yeah. So Ed's no, he
Guilty.
had to bring his family. So.
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, I can't believe. Of course, this is happy hour, right? So I see people pulling something out there. I don't know what it is, but this is happy hour. So, folks are inclined to hang around with the beverage, so that actually helps quite a bit. But yeah, still pretty excited and encouraged by how many folks we've had out there on the floor. Excuse me. So the show is earlier in the year next year. It looks like. Right?
Yep, 1 month.
We're at
earlier
end of
about.
April right now. 1 month earlier next month.
Mm-hmm.
Any other reason other than availability?
Well, so we always we want to be earlier, honestly. For logistical reasons, we are kind of in this spot where we have to have the show late March till about late April. And it's because there's just other events in a previous time. And so for competition purposes, in order to make sure that we get the exhibitors here, we get the retailers here, we get food service here, we've occupied this window, which is about late March to late April. But the closer we get to late April, the wider the variety of fresh produce items we will have on that floor, right? Because the Texas season is still really kind of wide open for everything.
Yeah.
Onions will be going. You'll have your full onslaught of Texas greens. We won't yet be into watermelon season, but also from Mexico, right? Your mangoes will already be in season then. We've already closed out some items out of Mexico, and so that period there in March really gives us access to a lot more items and diversity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm
It might
looking
be a little bit cooler.
It might be a bit cool, but it was super nice weather.
Yeah, it was good.
The
Little
golf
windy.
the golf tournament that Ed does is amazing. I loved it. It was good. Another great year at the Cowboy Club.
Thanks for coming out.
I was glad to
Coach
be
Ed.
out. I was glad to get to play
Yeah.
for sure. No, I mean, Dante, your staff, Lily, Hector, the whole group. I mean, my gosh.
I told about 10 people today that all, when they made comments about how great the show was, my comment was, you'd be amazed how few people pull this off.
We have a staff, and we just added somebody, but our staff is literally myself, Lily Garcia, Hector Garza, Petey Garza, and Kimberly Avenado. And so, I mean, and 2 of those people are part-time. So you're really talking about 3 full-time, 2 part-time people, and then the rest of it comes from folks like yourself, volunteer leaders. So, by the way, if there's folks out there who want to help us with Viva Fresh in the coming years and sit on some of these committees, we're all for it. We'd love to have it.
There's
We need that
plenty
help.
of work to be done.
Oh, amen, brother. Amen.
So you see this young man in the Aggie shirt over here, this young man?
Yes,
called
I
Blake?
do. He helped us bring some of these beverages this week.
Yeah, so that's Blake Howerton. He's brand new into the business.
Excellent.
And he's here at Brothers Produce. He went to the YTIPA event, bringing more young people in. But we are going to make a movement to start bringing in more of this North Texas influence. We need to reach out to some of these partners, and he's going to help us do that.
Awesome. Well, the other thing that he's going to help us do too is he's going to help us show us what we need to be successful in guiding our young produce
Young people.
professionals
Yep.
to be successful in this business and to help us drive this business into the 23rd century. Because
It's important.
as you guys were just talking with Richard, we have a ton of challenges ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. No
right?
doubt, yeah.
And so we are going to need an entirely different produce person, probably from the type of produce person we've seen for the last 100 years, in my opinion.
Yep.
So I was thinking I was like the prototypical forever produce person.
You were the prototypical.
Is it the hair? Because the hair is awesome today.
Thank you.
It's
Oh
freaking
my
awesome.
gosh. I'm going to give you a hug when this is all
Oh,
done. You
hey,
know that.
please.
You know you made my day with that.
Greg,
Yeah.
he's lying to you.
He is not, Dad. Don't even try and take me down.
You know those headphones have been messing your hair up all day.
That's probably that's almost the perfect spot for us to end this on.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
We got to end on my hair being perfect.
I do
Anything
need
else
to
we can
ask.
promote?
Well, there's always something we can promote, right? I
Right.
mean, we had so many great events that were first times here at Viva Fresh.
Okay.
So one of them was the YTIPA, the use of TIPA.
Right.
And so that event was focused on the young produce professionals and putting them in touch with other people at that stage in their career. So that's basically folks who are just coming out of school, just entering the industry up to 35 years old, and that's them getting to talk with other people about their experiences, their challenges, understanding each other without the intimidation of maybe making a mistake or saying something that, me, you, or anyone else in the industry would think is, man, is this guy really the right guy? Should he be here? Like, shouldn't he know this already? And that's part of that event, right? That's part of them being able to network. So you had that. You had the wine tour. Did you talk about the wine tour at all?
Did not. No.
Oh,
we
my
got to
goodness.
talk about that.
Yeah, we got to talk about the wine tour. So for all the non-golfers that come to Viva Fresh, and also because we can only take 288 people out of 2,200 for
Right.
golf.
Unfortunately, until we build our own golf course. But yeah, we gotta do some other stuff.
The wine tour was outstanding. I know that was the first this year. Sunfeb, fortunately, was on the sponsorship for that, and I had a
lot
chance
of good
to go with it.
reviews on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great event for people. Not only the wines were good, but it's not just the wine tours, but it was the opportunity to network and mingle.
That's right.
And meet so many different. As the versatility of the people you got to meet on that trip was really good. So.
And that's one of the pillars of Viva Fresh, right? You said it. It's the networking in a different environment.
Yeah.
It's the networking in the low-key, relaxed, not time-sensitive environment, so that way you can sit down and have that conversation. And, I mean, that's our space. And so this wine tasting experience just turned out to be a perfect pairing for us. You see what I did there?
I saw what you did there.
Oh,
Perfect
that's
pairing.
funny.
Yeah.
And then the In Bloom event. So I was kicked out before it kicked off, but I got to see the space, and that was pretty impressive. I think
That committee does a fantastic job every year with setting that space up and making it really unique. And again, I said it earlier, we need committee volunteers. That committee does so much with so few people, they can always use more people. So if you're interested in anything we're talking about, contact us. But the In Bloom, that event was absolutely fantastic. We had originally scheduled to be about 90, 95 people. They had 117 people, and we had to turn away probably 50 or 60. The room capacity was only at 100, and so we squeezed those extra people in there. Whoopsie.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's kind of been the overall theme for this entire show, has just been so much positive feedback throughout the entire event because people loved and genuinely enjoyed what we put on.
Right.
And I feel like this year has been a little different too. There's been a lot more empathetic connection to everything we're doing. I myself got caught up in it. Today at lunch, John Toner's letter was just absolutely touching. Tommy's reading and comments thereafter. I mean, I got up there and I was fired up. I was on the mission, man.
Yeah.
And then I looked out in the audience and saw a whole lot of wide eyeballs and went, "Oh yeah, I guess I gotta take this down from an 11."
Yeah.
Dante, how many people do you think we had at lunch today? That was the biggest luncheon we've had.
That was the biggest luncheon we had. So we had seating for 850 people. And when I looked out there, there wasn't a single empty table. There was a few seats here and there. Shooting from the hip, I'd say there was probably 650, maybe 700 people there. I mean, it was, most of the tables had 2 or 3 seats that were empty, and that was it.
That's one of the best luncheon attendances of a show that I've been to, for sure.
It helped. The food was pretty incredible, too,
Food
right?
was amazing. We already talked about the last guest we had, our 2 guests before had that. We talked about how great the food was and the selection of what you guys did. I mean, from sticking with the theme of healthy food consumption, even Ed and I could eat there. And I even got to have some of the dessert, although, I'm kind of a negative on sugar, but you know what? I love the flourless. So because it was flourless, I said, let me come on in.
See, I didn't get to the dessert. I'm like you. I normally get to that part of the meal and I pass on it. But, I got to tell you, all we do with the chefs is just say, look, we're fresh fruits and vegetables. Here's a list of the stuff we have. And they usually, their eyeballs pop out of their head because there's about 400 commodities on that list, and they just go, I haven't heard of half of these. And we say, go crazy, but make fruits and vegetables the main part of it. And I got to tell you, we have not been disappointed yet. I mean, even the food last night at the reception, how much of that was fresh produce? Like I went by that Asian food stand. It was peppers and onions.
Ooh,
and
one of them was spicy.
beets.
It cut me by surprise.
Oh, yeah, that was
I had to
good.
go
That
have
Kung Pao.
I had to have 2 plates of salad to wash it down.
But that's the great thing about the culinary staff here at the Gaylord is these guys are so awesome. They're so incredible, and they're so creative. We basically just gave them the list and said, look, make it colorful, make it taste great, lots of fruits and vegetables, surprise us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dante, hats off to you. Hats off to the staff. The whole TIPA group, for sure. I mean, you guys just continue to impress every year.
Congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. You know what? Yeah, and super thanks for allowing Ed and I to get up here on a whim. I mean, to be real honest with you, you didn't know what to expect with this. Hopefully,
I think he had an idea that we'd go all in.
Yeah, but I mean,
Listen,
I've
known you guys for a
the
minute.
all
Yeah.
in might have been more worse than us not going all in.
Worse.
More worse. Is that not a word?
On that note,
yeah.
No, listen, guys, I sincerely appreciate it, but I got to tell you, this is a group effort. I mean, yeah, we do a lot with a small team, but we also have some incredible support. We've got great volunteer leaders like you guys. We've got an entire industry. I mean, look at that room again. There's still a ton of people in there, and what are we, 10 minutes to show end?
Yeah.
I mean, each one of those people have come up and said, I love this show. It is great. How can I do more? So, you know what? You're doing about everything you can at this particular moment.
Right now.
You're here. You're participating.
Mm-hmm.
5:45, you're still walking the floor. You're still talking to our people.
You're not
You
trying
are
to tear down.
Yeah, you're not taking down your booth. The point is, if you're passionate about this industry, this is somewhere we want you to be because we want your passion. We want you to help us make this the best thing possible. And like I said at lunch, this is a fantastic opportunity. We are able to go to consumers in a way we never have been before, and we have such a great product. We have such a great message. We need to be those advocates. We got to be the people telling our friends and our family, more fruits and vegetables.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it.
I think that's a great note to end on.
That is a great note. I like the hair note, ending on that, but we didn't get that. But I think that's probably better. And seriously, everybody, you got to come to this show, right?
That's right.
It's a show. Should they book early?
Oh my goodness! Please book early.
Book early, right?
Yeah, book early. You know,
Pro tip.
Yeah,
Book
exactly. We're going to open registration nice and early this year. I mean, start looking for those emails by August. Start looking for registration to open up for the general attendees and retail food service by November, December. So please book early. That way we get everybody in the right hotel. We get the right numbers. But more importantly, we want to give everybody an incredible experience. And so letting us know, you know, a month or two at least ahead of time is great. Letting us know 2 weeks ahead of time, there's some challenges.
There's some
there.
challenges with that,
but hey, we still have a great show. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is fantastic, guys. I love it. Thank you,
Dante.
Next
Thank
year,
you very
Dante.
much.
We are going to have vegetable heads for you, sir.
We're doing the
there's
vegetable
supposed
heads
to be
next
some
year. You
a
first.
sequin leotard, but that's under the suit.
That was low priority.
Mason kinda,
We were trying to get on air.
Yeah.
That was high priority.
So,
Dante, we're gonna take a picture before you go.
we're
All
gonna
right.
take a
Thank
picture.
you.
And let's close this out. Let's thank these guys.
We're gonna thank these.
Yeah,
guys.
think
thank
let's
you
thank
guys
those guys.
so much.
You first.
So, hey, Laura Mason, I know it's been kind of a wild ride the last few days, but dude, I don't know. For me, just sitting on this side, I think it's been phenomenal. You've
Good
really
job. It was awesome.
busted a
Now,
hump.
I never doubted you, so I was pretty calm.
See, and that was me. I don't doubt any of you guys. I know we just show up, this thing's going to work.
Yeah.
But seriously, thank you guys for the
Yeah,
time and
it was
effort y'all
awesome.
put in.
Great experience.
Yes. By the way, and for those who are listening and not watching the video, this basically looks like an ESPN day setup. So, Mason, you freaking rocked it, bro. This is fantastic. People were stopping and taking pictures with him like, hey, can I sit in that chair and take a picture? And they were just setting up like, yeah, no problem, go for it.
Yeah.
This is a talking point. This is another way for us to get that message out there. I love this.
Innovation.
Fantastic.
Innovation.
And guys, everybody, we're going to have these out in sections. So if you listen to this one as we close, we're going to have all the stuff. We're going to piece them all out so you can catch all of the different interviews and everything we did. You're going to be able to catch this as different episodes out via our YouTube channel, out through. You know what? This is your part, actually. I'm doing all this closing stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I forgot how to do this.
You know,
All right.
Yeah.
Follow us at the Fresh CrEd on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at CrEd Fresh on Twitter. Email us at thefreshcred@gmail.com. Send us your requests, interests, likes, dislikes, comments about Craig's hair.
Everything under the book. Hey, thanks
All right.
everybody for listening. Thank you guys. Thank you, Viva Fresh. Thank you, Tippa. Thank you, kids. We'll see y'all. We're out of here. Goodbye. Roll the music, Mason.
Goodbye.